The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Black Hawk Hauling, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, Wags Food and Culture, Moe's Pizza, The Green Law Firm, Personal Injury Attorney, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, the sports guy, and I promise next week that intro will be all football players because it's football season, everybody. It's time to get ready for it. Oh, we've been waiting. We got preseason football on right now. Oh, man, it's about to be lovely. Before we get to our guests, we have the one and only Robin Fambrough joining us at 8:20 tonight to talk about the Baton Rouge area high school football teams. I can't do this by myself. I have my two co-hosts with me that you can find on CrescentCitySports.com. We got the one and only VK Jones. What's up, VK?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Like, tag, share, subscribe to the Hash It Out Show on all social media platforms. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Log on to the hashitout.show.com. And we got a good one tonight, man. Our first guest. We're going to dig into things, continuing the high school football preview in the state of Louisiana. We're hitting every area, hitting the pillar from pillar to post as we start the regular season in about a month. Cannot wait. And we got something interesting tonight after the interviews. So tune in. Tune in. And Jared, all I'm gonna tell you is I love you, dude. That's all I'm gonna say.
And I'm gonna tell you is you already lost the battle. Also, my other co-host,
Whatever.
one and only George GP Peppers. What's up, GP?
What's up, JB? VK? Doing great, Burn. Look, day two of previews on the Hash It Out Show. It's just gonna be all month long. We gonna get you set. We gonna get you right for the football season, and in short time, we gonna announce our 10 game slate for the regular season, season two of the Hash It Out Show Game of the Week. And Jared, I got an important text before the show, dog. No allowance. Say he's gonna get you for character defamation. I'm just saying.
Bring it on. Now, joining us,
Little humor.
this man is a great, great sports writer, and he's also the owner, CEO of the Nick Network Prep Report. He knows everything about the River Parish high schools, and even a little bit about that one high school in Kenner called Kenner Discovery. We got the one, the only Nick Campbell. My brother, what's going on?
What's happening, gentlemen? Man, it's always a pleasure to see some smiling faces. I tell you.
Oh, all the time, all the time. I gotta start off with this. 2022, Destrehan, Lutcher, St. Charles Catholic, all got to the dome. They all won. 2023, St. James, Riverside, and St. Charles Catholic all got to the dome
And they
and they
lost.
all lost. So my first question to you is, who the River Parishes will get to the Dome this year?
Well, I know there was going to be a question like this. I know you guys are fully aware of a hangover after a
Mm.
state championship, and the team that carry out more seniors leaving, they could wash it. But those returning seniors, if they got strong minds and strong wills, I think they can bypass those three episodes that happen in the game. And before the show really get rolling, I'll just drag it together and show y'all where we're gonna go with this long term. But from my standpoint, I talk to Coach Fronta all the time. We share a little tidbits of the River Parish, but the strong case for Destrehan High School this year is the priority. Destrehan is really, really going to be really strong this year.
Okay, all right. He says Destrehan has a chance. I want to move to St. Charles Catholic. St. Charles
Mm,
Catholic was this close to that three-peat. They decided to go for it on 4th and 1, and it didn't happen instead of punting the ball deep. What can you tell us about this 2024 version of Wayne Stein's football team?
yeah, that's a family I've been real familiar with for about 12 years now. Uh, I'm a firm believer, if anybody else believes that in high school, your quarterback is your best athlete. And if you have a good returning quarterback, you got a shot. He has some returning pieces coming back to his neck of the woods. He gonna have a strong running game. He gonna always have a strong defense. But I'm kind of skeptical about the trigger man this year.
Okay, okay. Your alma mater, Hornville Tigers. Greg Boyne is now in charge,
Yeah.
and there's a little bit of excitement in Booty right now
Oh
at
yeah.
Hornville. People are talking; they seem excited. Coach
Yeah.
Boyne has gone out into the community. He's talking with people. Things are looking up. What can you say about the Hornville Tigers so far?
Well, I'm gonna just throw a little plug in tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, they have a tailgate going on. This is something that we really wanted to institute back in the community. And I implore everybody that's a tiger, a true tiger, go out there and set up a tailgate. They're gonna have a lot of little things that's going on and meet the coach, meet the kids, yada yada yada. And I think it's gonna be the first in our community and is desperately needed, just to get this fan base back hungry and excited about the purple and gold once again. You know,
Mm-hmm. Riverside
so
Rollers. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
so Riverside. I mean, Riverside. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just it's. We said some things last year. We have a poll that come out and they we ate the cheese. I'm telling you, we had to eat the cheese because when you're in a river parish, is the hardest thing to say. I'm gonna gauge a team against another team because you got 5A teams, you got a 1A team, you got a 2A team, and oh, you can't never put a 1A over 5A team and da 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 da. Da. Man, if a team is good, a team is good. You
Right.
cannot change the diapers on this one. So with Coach Russell, man, the time that I spent and talk with him, he's really focused on building up front again. He lost a bunch of seniors. He got some good skill positions. His quarterback is returning. That's important. He got some really key pieces that's coming back on defense that's going to be a difference maker. But when you look at it, when you look at his schedule, man, he got a schedule. Whoo, 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 whoo. It's just me. It's just us round table talking. If he could get to be 6-4, you know what I'm saying? Some type
Yeah.
of way, 6-4 or better, he'd be on the opposite side of a great team to set up another really good state championship run.
I've heard a lot of people say that they think they can get back to the dome, but Dedrick Lasty, man, he's coming back, and he's one of the best running backs in the state. Don't you agree?
Oh man, He was our MVP. He
Uh-huh.
was our MVP last year. And I mean, sometimes, writers and people that got earpieces, they say certain things, oh, the kid too small, the kid do this, the kid do that. Man, Darren Sproles was the exact same way.
Yeah.
He was the exact same way. You gotta really take the potential that the kid have, put him in a system that really works for him. And I mean, the sky's the limit. And I think Coach Russell did that. He got a quarterback that's going to return. He got some receivers. He has some eighth graders playing real minutes, even in the championship. So I think they're still going to be explosive on offense. They're just not going to be massive up front. But Coach Russell's offensive line coach, so don't be surprised.
I won't be surprised. VK Jones, I pass it to you.
Yes, sir. Nick, man, good to have you on the show, man. Appreciate
All
you,
the time,
man.
my brother.
Yes,
All the
sir. Yes,
time.
sir. I'm gonna ask you this from the jump. Let's talk about the St. James Wildcats and Coach Levanta Davis.
Ooh.
And I know they lost a lot from last year and could have won the state championship, but credit to Union Parish doing what they have to do, surviving and winning it all. But what you could say about St. James this season and what kind of talent they have this year to try to bounce back? I know they're going to be young, but what Levanta Davis has for this season for the Wildcats?
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Coach Davis he's a gem. I'm telling you, is he's one of those. He's a disciplinarian type guy. He's one of those coaches that's going to hug a kid and at the same time put him in the right position to be successful. They're young. They're young at the quarterback position. He's going to eventually have to make a decision on his quarterback. I know uh, one kid, the young kid, is starting right now, but he has a freshman right behind him. And I mean, I tell you, defensively, they're gonna always be pretty good. They're gonna always be good. And he's not gonna throw the ball. He's gonna run the ball a lot. And when you got a chance to run the ball and get some kids together and get your team in the right position, move the chains, as some folks will say. If he can get these guys focused early and keep his quarterback upright early, get his sophomore quarterback some playing time, make everybody happy. I think the sky could be the limits, but they're gonna have an early test early on with East St. John.
They have a very interesting schedule in itself, and you look at their schedule this year, they have brought back some old rivals to their non-district schedule, and that is huge for not just St. James, but for the River Parishes as well.
Oh yeah, they got St. Charles Catholic back on that schedule, and that's good.
You got
That-
Shaw too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's look, man, look, there is you cannot go and circle a cakewalk pretty much on some of these schedules these days because the way the district is designed. And if you schedule a cakewalk, you're going to eventually get shown out in the first round.
That's right.
Very
So
much.
you gotta play up. But Kenny Young is one of those running backs that got some time with St. James last year. He's gonna be successful. The defense, anybody know a good running game is a good thing to a good defense, and a good defense is the best thing to a good running game. Because if you got a running back that can move those chains, defense can get some rest. If you got a defense that can get that ball back to the running back, they can score some points. And I think that's going to be the formula for St. James when you're breaking in a young quarterback. Now, I know TC and Morrell and a lot of these other guys from St. James going to have something to say. I think BK, they told us last year when we was on the sideline, y'all better know what y'all talking about the Wildcats. So they wind up
Yeah.
going back to the dome. So
Mhm.
I'm excited for them. You know what I'm saying? And they got explosive kid, man. Jaquez Venezuela, man, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, he is a game changer. He can change the game. So even with whoever you have at quarterback, if that kid touches the ball, he can be really special for St. James.
Absolutely. Let's go down the road a little bit before you get to Vazri right there. You have Edgard, West St. John. and Coach Deron Thomas. A lot of improvement from last year, trying to get things back and going. What does Coach Thomas and the Rams have this season?
Man, the greatest asset they have is the games that they sacrificed last year. And you bringing a young team into a schedule that wasn't yours. People got to realize that wasn't Coach Duran's schedule. He inherited a team that was full of young kids. He's another coach that's a strict disciplinarian, trying to find out his coaching staff and who he have. It's not like he can go to this place and that place, and I'm gonna get you to be my offensive coordinator. I'm gonna get you to be my defensive coordinator. Plus, you got to teach middle school or high school. So Coach Thomas, man, is he got a lot of good things brewing for the next 2 years in 1A. Will it be a state championship team? No, but I think they will win more than 6 games this year. They're going to be to the point where they're going to play a nice schedule early. The Railroad Classic is not what it used to be until West St. John can go and beat St. James in St. James, and they could turn that trophy back over to West St. John. So until that game usually be the measuring stick of if we're gonna have a great team or we're gonna have an all right team. So they got some key players that's gonna help them out, man. They got Jordy Gross and Kalen Weber, and you got a big offensive lineman, defensive lineman, Key John Fobbs. Those type of guys, they played 10 games, 11 games with their playoff last year. So they're getting some on-the-job experience. And in 1A, and I don't want to seem like this, if you got 3 dogs, you got a shot. You got a really good shot until you meet who. You know what I'm saying? So, but saying that to say this, if the Rams can play injury free, the Rams will be something to watch, and the stands will be refilled. The chicken orders will be a little bit more, man. I'm telling y'all, when y'all go back there, get y'all some chicken from West St. John, you won't be disappointed.
Before I pass this over to George Peppers, let's go across the bridge a little bit. You talked a little bit about the Riverside Rebels. Let's talk about the East St. John Wildcats with Coach Brandon Brown. What does he have this year for the Wildcats? And they've been digging and digging the last couple of years. Last season had a great start. Things kind of fell a little bit, but what do you see in Brandon Brown and the Wildcats this season?
Well, I can tell you this, and I don't know. I know you guys are part of New Orleans media, man. It's been a mystery for the last 3 years with East St. John. It's been a mystery, and they find a way. They go into the season for the last 3 years, graduating a senior quarterback. And eventually they push, they make a push, and try to get in the playoffs. East St. John, they're gonna have a quarterback coming in. He was on Desiree roster, Elijah Murphy. He's going to be their trigger man this year, barring injury or health or whatever. And defensively, man, East St. John got a defense like the Bears. They're just trying to put the 85 Bears. They're just trying to put their running game together and make some good things happen. They graduated some great receivers last year. They had a kid, Jermaine Mangle. He was one of their step-up wide receivers as a senior this year. He got injured in 7-on-7 football, and they're going to have to go to the drawing board and use some of these underclassmen to really show out, to show out what they want. But they got some good pieces on defense. They got a really good DB that can really play. That got some minutes last year. They got a hell of a linebacker named Jared Phillips that had double-digit sacks. So they're going to be there. They're going to be there. Their running game is not bad. Their running game is not going to be bad. So if Coach Brown could bypass some of the noise of what happened last year and in the season and get one of those games like St. Aug, that's going to be early on for them. If they can get a game like that, it'll be a real confidence builder moving on towards a district play.
George Peppers, you're up.
Thank you. Nick Campbell. First off, I'm also echo the sentiments of my co-host and welcoming you to our show and getting your expertise about the River Parishes. We greatly appreciate it, and we are very much big fans of your work. And
Oh
it's a
man,
pleasure to have you on, bro.
I thank you, man. And look, we all fans of each other. It's tragic that
We
we
are.
don't hang out enough.
I know that's
I know,
crazy.
right?
That's crazy. That might have to change this year. We're gonna
Yeah,
have to
we
link up at some point.
yeah we me and JB catch each other from time to time, but
Right?
you can only imagine what those conversations be like. Matter of fact, we might need to start a breakfast club because JB and I have been trying to go to breakfast for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
damn. Don's Diner, Nick. If you ever want to
Yeah,
go to a breakfast, Don's Diner in our area. Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be
without
the
a
place to
doubt.
go. Yeah, yeah. Me and VK have frequented that place a couple of times, and they on point with their breakfast though. Just
Oh
saying.
yeah.
And we're talking about food. I'm gonna ask you something about that later in the show. I want to start with an update, a question for an update. Basically, Jared talked about Destrehan. What is the health of head coach Marcus Scott? Remember that really sidelined them last year. With what happened. The illnesses that he took and everything else, and he had some serious stuff going on. How is Coach Scott doing health wise, and what do you know about how he's doing?
Tragically, man, and I'm saying this from being a young black male, I spend a lot of time with Coach Scott talking, chit chatting on the sideline, and you never know what a person going through. When they told me that Coach Scott was getting a kidney transplant, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a some kind of joke, and
Yeah.
you never go into people' personal life, man. But the
Hmm.
last two conversations that I had with Coach Scott, he's doing well. He's adjusting really well. He's excited about the season. And man, he's excited about this 2024 Dutch Ram Wildcat team. And that's the most important thing.
Hmm.
We can look at the health and see when Destrehan played Zachary last year. But I think when we always know and how Louisiana is designed, there's gonna be a game on your schedule that you wish you didn't have, and that game will probably put you in the way of somebody else versus you being in the way of them being in the way of you. So Zachary Destrehan was just in Zachary way last year.
Yeah. Yeah, and
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 it's
Zachary
sad.
made the state finals.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, I
sad
do.
because
Totally.
I
Totally.
think if Coach Scott would have been there, it would have been a difference, but not that big of a difference because y'all remember I told y'all in the beginning of the season, you said, is Destrehan repeating? I told y'all no. And y'all thought I was like, you say, like, man, you gotta be
I was
joking.
actually on your side, Nick.
Yeah,
I didn't think Destrehan was going to be the back-to-back JB. I
yeah,
wasn't on board with the Destrehan repeat wagon. I didn't think they were going to do it, and I mean, and look, I'm not one of these that goes against schools. I never am. I'm just, objective and analytical. And I felt like I didn't see that dog kind of team that we saw in 22 that handled business and beat
yeah,
Ruston in Ruston. I didn't see that in the 23 team. And look, 24 may be different. Just praying for Coach Scott to continue to improve health. And, they're going to be, Destrehan's going to be Destrehan. They're going to be what they are. Next question. I hate to reflect on this because I'm about to start a civil war here on the Hash It Out show. But the game in the championship, me, Jared, and BK had a vigorous debate. St. Charles and Calvary Baptist, the sequence where the Comets went for it on 4th and 1. I never got your thoughts on that sequence where they were in front. They could have punted the ball deep and made Calvary drive the length of the field. What was your belief at the moment that sequence happened where they went for it? The play call was obviously discombobulated, but what would you have done in that move? 4th and 1, you could punt the ball and make Calvary drive, but you went for it and gave them a short field. What was your thoughts?
well, let's talk about bread and butter. That's number one. St.
Okay.
Charles Catholic always been with their bread and butter. That was defense. And you
Yep.
never play to lose the game. You never play to lose the game. And if you don't go for it, even that same conversation was in the St. James game. Why we didn't do this and why we didn't do that, man? Look, if St. Charles make that first down, we're not even talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, because coaches never get caught up in the moment. They're creatures of habits. And if you plan to lose, you're not going for it. You're gonna punt and they're gonna score anyway and they're gonna win the game.
Did you
That's
really
the way
think they would have scored?
I
You
think
so
they
you
could
thought
have. I
well,
think they could have. The
Cavalry's offense
momentum,
was really good.
the momentum had shifted that
Right.
much where Wayne, and I'm not speaking for him, Wayne realized I gotta get this first down and not give him the ball.
I put
That's
this in
old
the
coach
bin
Monica. That's old coach
with BK.
Monica right there because I watched them guys for a long time. So if let's say they get the first down, right? And the whole debate was one kid went left, one kid went right.
The
I
wrong
don't
way.
care if you lay down, you advance the football. And matter of fact, I wasn't on the sideline, but I was right exact where I saw it, and I really thought that they got snubbed by an inch. It's my opinion.
Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna say this in regards to that. The defense has played well the entire game on stopping the pass. Carrie Baptist would have got the ball if St. Charles punted within the 10 to the 20-yard line and had to go the length of the field with about 40 seconds left with no timeouts.
I don't think
I
they'd have done it.
I thought they should have punted.
Me
VK
too.
is
Yeah.
on your side. VK is on your side. He thought the right call was made. George is on my side. He thought they should have punted also.
Now
And George also said, I'm
let me
sorry,
share
teammate.
this with y'all that y'all probably wasn't realizing.
Okay.
And VK, you could probably paint this picture. Who was the last two touchdowns scored on against St. Charles? The
It was
kid that was
passing.
having the kid was having a game of his life.
He's
The
talking about
little
the receiver from Calvary.
no, the little bitty DB.
Oh,
That's
St. Oh, okay.
that's what it was going. Any coach was going to continue to go there until they put a big guy back there.
And they didn't.
And that's the thing too, and that's what I was pointing out as well.
Point
Yeah,
your
the
finger
deep.
somewhere else.
No, no, no,
Point
no,
your
no,
finger.
no, no,
Point
no,
your
no,
finger
no.
somewhere
It's
else.
my turn to
Keep
talk.
pointing your
It's
keep,
my turn to talk.
keep pointing your finger at
Hold
me.
on,
Keep
hold on.
pointing your finger
It's
at
my
me.
turn,
Oh,
man.
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
let you
scared
talk,
of
but
you.
point your
I'm not
finger
scared of you,
somewhere else.
brother. Hey,
You
bro.
know,
It's my
TKO.
turn to talk.
y'all gonna point his finger at people. What's wrong with
My
you?
turn to talk. It's my turn to talk, brother.
Oh,
All
Wait
I'm
a
yeah,
minute. I
your
saying
thought
turn
it
to
was
is,
talk, but
done.
you ain't got point your finger on the camera. I told y'all, and I pointed to this.
no, I said this, and I told you this. Yeah, that St. Charles defense did well, except the fourth quarter. They gave up big passing plays.
That was
That's
one
the thing. No,
drive.
no, no. Let me
One
finish. No,
drive.
no, it wasn't on one drive. It was two
Yes, it was.
drives.
It's
It
the
was
only
two
Calvary.
passing
No,
drives.
hold on,
It
touchdown they
hold
was
on.
two
had.
No, no.
drives.
It was two drives. Calvary scored 21 unanswered.
Unanswered.
21.
How many
That's
was that
more
from
than one
James
score.
Simon running?
That's
James
more than
Simon.
one score.
James
That's more
Simon
than one
scored it.
score.
James Simon.
Look, look, they, look,
Before they
James
scored the winning
Simon,
touchdown, they threw the
James
cheap
Simon,
pass
listen,
and they
listen.
scored. That was
No,
the
listen,
only
listen, listen,
touchdown pass they had.
listen. Let me talk. I understand
Talk about
James Simon scored, but Abram connected on them long passes. That's how Simon got in zone. Come on, man.
171 yards from James Simon. That's how he got in zone. Okay, 171 yards. Think about that.
But also, Abram had over 200 some yard passing.
That's fine.
Come
That's
on,
fine.
bro. Yeah,
A majority
add
did
two
not
and
come to
two.
the last two
Add
drives,
2 and
bro.
2.
The
But
last
they
two
still
drives.
gave up
The
big
last
chunks.
drive, they had 47 yards to go.
Regardless of the fact of the matter is the fact that you get the St. Charles Catholic defense gave up big chunks, and it makes the defense tired. That's why I said that Wayne Stosh it was right to go for it, just the wrong play. Because plain and simple, it's just like the Saints and Rams. When that
Oh
Saints
no.
defense is no, this is a fact. If the
Oh,
Saints defense is freaking tired, I don't want the Rams with the goddamn ball. No, I want to get the first, run the clock, kick the field goal, and win. I do not want my defense back on the field if they that tired. I'm trying to get in a position to get the first, run the clock, and win. Not freaking give a ball back to my tired defense.
Yeah,
That's the point I was trying to make. That's all I was saying.
That play came and bit them back in the ass.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. It did. And
Now,
it's
George,
yeah, absolutely right. It did.
George, I can tell you this. Even a moment of a three-peat, you, VK, and JB, y'all was sitting there with that three-peat on your mind, just like every Comet fan was, and we saw it slip away. And I mean, if Coach Wayne could do anything again, If you see him at a restaurant, he'll tell you, "I'll do it again."
Oh, I know you would. Oh, without a
You
doubt.
know,
Without a doubt.
and then
Without a
and
doubt.
Oh,
then and then
absolutely.
Nick, he's
Riverboat
right.
gambling. That's a riverboat gambling, Nick. We already know. Uh,
Eh,
uh, I guess my next question, VK touched on St. James, but that was another team that took a disappointing loss in their championship against Union Parish. And Jared and I were on the Union sideline because it was crowded as all get out on the St. James sideline. There was about a million dudes over there. And we're like, well, and none of us are claustrophobic. Listen, it's none of that. But we decided to move on the Union Parish sideline. And I remember telling JB when Union Parish got that ball, and how much time was there? About 40 something, 50 something seconds when they got that last possession.
Close to it.
I
Close to
told
it.
him, I said, man, if they score, St. James better be on point because they're going for two. And
Two
Travion
big
Holly was standing
plays,
right by us.
two big plays,
Yes, they did. Yup.
two big
But
plays.
Travion Holly was standing right by us, and he turned around and said, I like how you thinking. And I'm like, well, obviously he's a Paris grad LSU player now. And sure enough, they go down there. I look at JB. I said, here it comes. St. James about to get their heart broke because they looked gassed in that last drive. I mean, Union Parish is a team that could punish you, and
Matter
they
of
did.
fact, JB came and talked with me right after that play, and some of the St. James people was around me, and they were saying, "What would I do? What would I?" I was like, "Man, you can say what you want in a situation like that. A coach got a whole parish with aspirations of being a champion, and man, you can't say what I. We don't know what this man day was like Sunday morning." And thinking if I woulda, coulda, shoulda. But and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna just bring this to y'all guys' attention.
Okay.
When St. James had the lead, Union Parish never changed the stripes. They
Never.
kept doing the same thing.
Same thing.
And
Nope.
and when you realize when they just had to shrink the game. And when they shrunk the game, they made one thing happen that was they was getting a whole night. That right side. That right
Yep.
side.
Like
Yep.
And
like part of the Red Sea.
if you didn't put Big Jermaine, that 6'8" in on defense, shame on you.
Exactly.
Shame on you
Exactly.
because
Because they were
he would
getting
have
holes that
commanded a double team.
there were holes on that right side that the four of us would have got. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
that's how gapped it was. I mean, we could have, and look, none of us are in our football playing shape. I mean, safe assumptions. Okay, let's move ahead to this year. And look, we touched on Hornville, but as an alum, before you dig into what they can do, as an alumnus, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you with this new regime with Greg Boyne? And it's a two-part question. I want to ask you that, and also, how important is it that Hornville Destrehan get this rivalry back to what it used to be? Because to me, I have said this many a time. That is one of the best rivalry games in the state of Louisiana. There is no doubt in my mind. Now, how important is it that we get that rivalry back to prominence? That's the second question. The first is on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you as an alumnus that Greg Boyne is your head coach?
Yeah. Well, starting with the number two question, man. Look, it's not a rivalry no more. Let's
No.
be real about it. And we
Oh, we
gonna
know.
have to we gonna have to beat them people 10 years straight, including in the playoffs, to counteract. And it was strategically done. Y'all, I mean, media people that don't even know about how the pairs work, that was strategically done. I'm telling you, because at that time in 2014, I was on the ground still coaching youth football. But saying that to say this, for the part one question, Greg Vaughn is my brother, man. That's my brother. When I say brother, Greg Bone was the only, I'm gonna just say it, he was the only white dude that hang with us in the hood when we was 10 years old. Greg dad, if you heard the interview, Greg dad used to pick us up for baseball practice, man. And lo and behold, just being in that community, St. Charles Parish and Hornville, man, I'm excited for Greg because number one, Greg, he feels the heartbeat of the community. He didn't wash away all of that garnet and gray and all that they did, and he's really interested in bringing back the tradition. Man, we talked about the gold pants
Oh
that was
man.
prominent in Hornville. We
Yes.
had some young
Yep.
Tigers that got on and said something about what they thought their tradition was. Yeah, that was your tradition. It didn't mean anything to us, but some of the things that mean, like the H back on the helmet, that means something to people
Oh, bro, the
when
H.
you trying to
Oh,
bring a kid to come to Hornville, he want to see that big old H.
what about back in the day, the scripted Tigers? The Tiger
Yeah,
script.
we want to first get the community involved because, and I'm gonna say it, man. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. The West Bank of St. Charles, they always did it first, and they always got people with deep pockets over here. So when the jumbotron come, they gonna say, "Oh, Destran did it first." Nope, we already got it. You know what I'm saying? When the turf came, oh, we already got it. We had it, and then Destran had it. I'm just saying, So the crown jewel right now is Destran, and we're gonna erase that this year. And I'm gonna go on record and say that Hornville beat Destran this year.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Wow.
there we
If
go.
Horn
I love this.
if
Ooh,
I
shots
love this.
Hornville
fired. Bow, bow.
is
Woo.
healthy, if Hornville
Hmm.
is healthy in week 10, when that game is played, they're gonna beat them.
And y'all got to go to Destrehan, I think, right? I think y'all
They're
going to
gonna beat
Dusty,
them.
or is it
They're
Destrehan?
gonna beat them. Yes, yes, they're
So,
gonna beat them.
oh,
And a lot of people
the
might think I
first.
didn't had a drink. I didn't smoke a hookah,
Nah, bro, you
but
good? Nah, we ain't
Sound
doing
but
like the
all
this
hash.
that.
Sound like the hash it out show game of the week.
I will not say that about you.
Need
yeah,
that.
But I
but
gotta
this
say this.
look
That's the
this
first. That's
JB,
that's
you
the first
saw.
bowl salvo of the 24 season, right there.
I'm gonna say like they said back in the '90s, shots fired.
Yeah, shots
Fire.
Exactly.
fired.
Indeed.
Exactly. I'll say this about
Yeah,
Boy,
Harville Dusty before I move on. I'll say this about Harville Dusty before I move on. I said it was one of the best rivalries in the state. The other reason it is, man, them tailgates, bro. Those tailgates
yeah.
down there. Oh my goodness. Get there early when it was in
yeah,
a zenith.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to be there
12
what
o'clock.
2.5 hours early.
Oh,
12,
look,
12 o'clock.
it was at 12 o'clock. I
Yeah,
got there.
exactly.
I was at 4:30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you
12
prayed you didn't
o'clock.
have to work that day. It's like, man. I mean, and that's
You
week 10 this year, that game. That's weird because usually
That's,
yeah.
y'all play
that's what
them
it's supposed to
week
be.
4, 5, 6. I know it's supposed to be, but I've seen it
Well, it used to
even in
be
the
the first
Zenith
week
thing.
in October.
When they had the
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
alligator festival.
Yeah, it used to be the
Yeah.
first week in October. But you know who changed that.
We'll
Yeah.
leave it at that too.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
know who
Yeah.
We know.
changed that. So
Sound
All
like we
right.
need to break. We need to break code a little bit and bring the hash it out show game of the week to that one. And I don't. It don't matter who or whatever. I think we need to break code because sound like to me if both these teams, we know that Strand gonna have a good year, but if Hanville, some way somehow, we talked about this, Jerry. If Hanville some way somehow has a real good year, good winning record going into Destrehan, I'm like, that's a game of the week to me. Like more than
I,
anything else. So
I'll,
that's what I look at it, but
I'll,
it don't
I'll,
matter. It
I'll
just
say
like it just sounds
I'll
intriguing.
say this. Number one, that's a fight with press play. And number two, I can sit here and say another game that's going to be for the district championship also week 10. So we have our
Exactly.
options. All right, go ahead.
Now,
this been the hardest year of scheduling games in the River Parish. I'm serious because St. Charles is playing a team out of Texas
Right.
that is really, really good. So when I heard my scheduling, they brought it back. Say you got 2 minutes St. Charles, you got 2 minutes Destrehan. So I had to redo it again because you got to realize Destrehan start the season off with who?
Um, um,
Baton
I
Rouge,
forgot,
capital
man. I
Baton
know it's
yeah,
a
Rouge.
Baton
fun.
Rouge Cali. I know it's
Yeah.
Baton. I was going to say Central, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
Baton Rouge
no, they starting off with a formidable opponent of and it's not gonna be a cakewalk for them.
Cali. No, no.
Nope.
That game could
They
be in
dominated
Destrehan all
Acadiana
at
in that
once.
championship.
Oh
They smoked
yeah,
Acadiana in that champion. I mean, they what they had 58, I think.
Had a lot.
oh yeah,
Well,
oh
I mean,
yeah.
they drilled them people last year. Um, I want to make sure that I don't sound crazy, but I know Terrebonne's in the same district. Nick, you cover
Uh-huh.
them too, right? Okay.
No, but
Well, let
I
me
know
ask
a
you.
lot about him. I know a lot about
Okay.
him.
Okay. But with
I got
that
a lot
being
of Bayou
said,
friends.
I got you. But I want to ask because I know it's in the relative, they're in the same district as Hahnville, Dusty, East St. John, and all that. But I want to ask because I haven't heard really much about the turnover, the late turnover with the coaching staff. They got a brand new, according to Crescent City Sports, they got a brand new head coach, and that came late. What happened?
Who? Terrebonne?
Yeah, Tyler Lewis ain't the coach, no.
He says Tyler is the coach. I never found out about this.
Me
I was
neither.
just
I
And
saying
I'm
found
like,
that out
Mike
Crescent
about
just
a
City
said
year
Tyler
usually is
Lewis,
ago.
on.
but he said he saw this somewhere.
No, it's
I
on the
never heard.
list. It's on the list of coaching changes on CrescentCitySports.com. I told you it was there the other night, and his name was on
Well,
it.
I heard a lot of things that I can't speak on. From that
Oh no,
standpoint, I would probably have to have an attorney present. But I tell you what, man, I think when you have success as a coach, certain things you can't say and do and really participate in on any level. And on any level, and the eyes are watching you, whether you the boys coach or the girls coach. So even if Coach Lewis still the coach at Terrebonne, I don't think they're going to have the season that they had last year because it was a
oh no.
magical season with a magical run, and sometimes you regress with success, and I think that's one of the things that's happening here right now. They're regressing with success.
Mhm.
Ooh.
JB, the floor is yours.
How did we let the Lutcher Bulldogs be one of the last teams that we got to talk about here? That is crazy. Lutcher Bulldogs got to the quarterfinals, lost to the eventual state champions, Opelousas. Are they bringing a lot back? And do they have a shot to get back to the dome, Mr. Nick Campbell?
Intentionally, y'all, we love Lutcher off being a dark horse. Lutcher is a dark horse because Mr. Cheney is a senior. He can run the football. He can do. He's going to take and protect the young quarterbacks that Lutcher have. You know what I'm saying? Lutcher have two young quarterbacks, and Zach Jenkins is Coach Jenkins' son. He
Yeah.
played a lot last year. He's a mobile quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And to be exact, you can look at Ashton Starks. I don't know if y'all is familiar with that kid. That kid is lightning in the bottle. So whatever Coach Jenkins have in store, they can be a dark horse because they got a lot of things. They got Lunch little brother playing wide receiver. So eventually somebody gonna have to throw them the ball. And I think he's a senior. So they got some good players there that still left. Lutcher got some commitments on defense that they got the University of Houston over there, a bunch of schools looking at Mr. Rashad Sterling.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be somebody that you can like fan it. Opelousas, look, Opelousas beat both the state champion and the runner-up last year.
Sure did. Yeah.
And look, when I think it was you, JB. I texted you, Opelousas won. I thought you was joking.
No. I
I
remember that.
really thought you was joking, man. And when you
No.
said that, I look back, I said, "Oh my gosh, it's for real." Then the crazy part was the next week because we was all talking about the repeat of the state championship. Remember that? We said
Yeah.
both of these guys going back, and man, it
Yeah.
was just ooh, they
Spoke
had
out.
their way. So Lutch is my dark horse through it all. That's just my opinion. If they can get their quarterback situation straight and remain healthy.
I see you got the Kenner Discovery Swamp Owls on your banner now. Coach PJ Sprunk trying to get his team to the playoffs again. What can you say about Kenner Discovery? Because they hit a tougher district this year with St. Alex, Shaw, and Bell Chase.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I had uh contractual obligations with the observatory that didn't allow me to cover Kinder Discovery at the time. But just like every little media newspaper in the area, they don't have we don't have access to a bunch of knowledge anymore. So I spoke with Coach PJ when we decided to dissolve, but just like I told him, I'm always be there to do it. Now, his team this year, his team should be locked and loaded to play in a tough district, man. You gotta really go out in this area, and you got a school like Bonneville. That's right there. You got JT Curtis on the opposite side of the highway taking kids. You got to really find your position in football in that little area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a high academic school also. So you got to really if you can get some really smart kids in some small positions for at least 2 or 3 years, you can win. But uh Coach PJ gonna always have him tough. He gonna always have him playing. He got out that district with De La Salle, and I'm telling you, it was a slaughter because at that point, De La Salle had a lot of muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're gonna see what Coach PJ have, and anytime, and he's one of the coaches in this area, man. I'm so extremely proud of. He had one of our own, Coach Ashton Dewey over there, and he had Coach Dan Irwin over there. So he had River Parish ties to the football team. And he came from Curtis, man. He played at Curtis.
So it
He
did.
played at Louisiana College, man.
Yeah.
And he's one of those tough-nosed coaches. He's one of those tough-nosed coaches that's he want to always get in a grappling match with a good team, you know. So I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm gonna go on record. Don't be surprised they make a playoff little, they'll be better than the first round in the playoff this year if they can levelize the district.
Okay. Our good buddy Kenny Ramonde, he says, and you're not going to do it now, but you always do it. He said he wants you to rank the top 8 schools in order of the river parishes. So I guess when you start your show again soon, you got to catch it on your show. So I know you're not going to do it right
Well,
now.
yeah, I'm gonna tell Kenny like this, just to be honest with you. A lot of people see my face and think it's just be me. I get so much heat in the River Parish, man. Let me tell you something about Coach Yusef Jasmine. A lot of people
Yourself,
that know Coach
yes.
Yusef he was my nephew. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
And boy, one day after the game, he beat he beat Saint.
Uh huh.
And boy, I just went over there. He said, "Now put that in your ranking."
Yes, indeed. That boy, another Shaw grad,
And
another Shaw grad beat the Purple Knight.
look, it's funny. He don't
Right.
even have a Facebook page or Twitter page.
Somebody told him about it though. Somebody told
Yeah,
him
so
about it.
sometimes people take it personal, but I have a official, a certified official on my team. I
Uh huh.
have a coach. I have Coach Ulysses Fronta, and I have another coach from the Bayou area. And every Sunday at noon, I get a text and they telling me they positioning on who did this and this is how it should be and da 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 da. Da. So once we do that, once we realize it, man, and I'm gonna say this, man, I know it's a family show. A lot of people gonna be really upset this year. You know what I'm saying? Because this has been the hardest year. We got 3 state championship losers. We
Yeah.
got some emerging teams, and it's just a preseason poll, dude.
That's it.
So guys work it out, and when we put St. James. You remember the year St. James won the state championship?
Yes, sir.
St. James was number one. West St. John was number two. People thought we were smoking dope. They say, how? And you got how you gonna put little 1A West St. John over Destrehan? And at the end of the season, the polls lined up because we, like you guys, we sit down, we really talk about it and say, look, if you got a pole position in this as your 18, who would be your 18? Not that they sad,
Right.
is what it
Exactly.
is today. You know what I'm saying? And I look at y'all area schools. Y'all talk about Shaw. Y'all talk about our coach Valdez, and man, y'all not talking about the unseen. They got some unseen teams
Oh,
like
without a
in that
doubt.
New Orleans area.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, Warren Easton, bro. I think Warren Easton gonna be on Warren Easton gonna be Jason and Freddy Krueger mix.
Oh, damn.
Oh, I said it.
Okay.
I said it on another show probably a couple weeks ago. I said, y'all don't think Coach Phillips got it on his mind, this revenge tour. Something wrong with y'all.
Yeah, I love the Catholic League. I love talking about the Catholic League. I tweeted something. I think Vishan he responded on it and said, "Ain't no way." But a couple years ago, and he said, "You really?" I said, "Yeah, this is how I felt when Jesuit was really good." You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
They'll play a brand of football that you're not expecting. Or when Brother Martin make their run, and man, who thought Brother Martin was really gonna punch the ticket last year?
Oh, none of us. None of us.
No.
No,
I
none of us
know I
thought that a couple
didn't
years ago.
because
No.
I see the same movie every year, the same rerun, and we wasn't expecting them to be that successful, you know. So who would have thought that Bryce Brown wouldn't have been in where they were? We
Right.
was looking for them to advance to play Curtis in the championship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just saying that to say this, man, our area, our region, for at least 75 miles to Opelousas, we got a good brand, even south of the parishes with Lafourche and Terrebonne and all of them guys. We got a good brand of football. We don't have enough people to cover it. And man, shout out to Ed Daniels. I hope he get well real soon because
Yes.
Friday night football needs him. You know,
Yes.
and I know, look, and we got a lot of interaction with Ed on the sideline, and he tells some great stories, man. And we're gonna need that because he makes our game get better as
Help
we
me.
watching them, you know.
Yep.
Man,
Before I go to VK, I got a couple more questions. I want you to talk about two of the most underrated running backs in the state. That's Hornville, C.J. Smith, and Destrehan's Shane Ward.
Man, let me tell you something about. I'm gonna start with Shane Ward. Uh, in our parish, it's all about uh, what word could we probably use? It's all about history.
Yeah.
You know, Shane Ward comes from historical lineage from running backs. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And he's not gonna be Shane Lee, but they pretty much cut from the same tree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you looking at Destrehan, it's gonna be NASCAR on wheels because they're gonna score fast and they're gonna score often. They're gonna score a lot because of that speed at running back. When Shane was there, Shane was a powerful kid. Now you got a kid that's powerful and fast. So you're gonna have and look, don't get me wrong, Destrehan got some good running backs behind Shane that they're gonna showcase. They're really young, and you know, Coach Scott, when he get the lead, he gonna let those youngsters play.
Without a doubt.
So now let's talk about CJ, man. About last year in December, November, I made a proclamation and I said that next year CJ going to be the best back in the state. Not even knowing if Coach Luquette would have been there, but I think he's found a system
Yeah.
that's going to really predicate to his talents. And we see some more offers coming. He's a very powerful kid.
Strong.
Uh, CJ played for me at 6 years old, 7 and 8. He was a big kid and he just wanted to play. He just wanted to be on the field. He didn't care if he played running back or whatever. But we would give him the ball, and you can tell he was young, and he just kept playing with the position. Quiet as it kept, CJ can play on the other side of the football too. He can play linebacker too if needed. You know, so I think CJ is underrated. I think the sky's going to be the limit. He's a 12 personnel back. He's an eye back. He's one of those backs. He's a throwback. I'm gonna just give it to you. He's a
Yeah.
throwback. So I'm hoping and praying that it's raining that night when Destrehan play Hornville, and CJ going to showcase his talent against that NASCAR package.
You talk
wow.
about this NASCAR package that Destrehan. These receivers they have from Philip Wright, Johnny Thiel, um, Jabari Mack, and the other one. I think his first name is Greg. I think can't think of his last name. I know La Tech offered him. This might be the best receiving core in the state with Jackson Fields at quarterback. Talk about
It
how deadly these receivers can be for Destrehan.
it been that way for 2 years.
True,
It been that way for 2 years.
but
And
this
let me
might be
tell
the
you,
best right here. This might be the best.
today, and any old school guy, and I hate to say it, receivers are prima donnas. And as long as they getting the ball, they happy.
Uh-huh.
And they don't want to be touched. Hornville is very physical in the secondary.
Yes, they are. I saw that in the
Very,
spring game.
very
Yes,
physical.
yes.
And they're gonna touch you, they're gonna slap you around. And I can tell you, they got some returnability. They got some guys that can take it to the house back there. So saying that to say this, that'll be a matchup, even including East St. John. Let's not sleep on East St. John's secondary in front four. They're gonna be it's gonna be intriguing to see by week 6 where Deshaun lies with their NASCAR package. Now, if Coach Fronto was here with me today, he'd be saying something totally different.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a moment that we're going to have some serious debates in the near future,
Do you think that those four can be covered? No matter if it's Hornville, East St. John, Calicut, and Baton Rouge.
I tell you, yes. I say yes because we watched the game last year. Destrehan played Hornville at Hornville.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when Philip Wright had a really good game. And a good coach, old school coach, Coach Monica would always say, they only got one football. So what you gonna do when you don't have the football? That's important. So if the ball not coming to you, are you willing to block? You get what I'm saying? So
What you
that's
saying?
that's that's how I'm looking at it with these guys these days. And then I'm gonna share this with y'all. And I'm looking for a breakout season for a wide receiver that's nobody talking about in the River Parish, and it's Colby Lewis from Hartville.
Oh, tight end. Oh, he gonna break out. There's no doubt in the world. He gonna
Yeah,
break out.
yeah. Colby's being in the inside as an inside receiver. But I tell you what, Colby got a good bloodline. Donrell Lewis is his dad
You lie.
from West St. John. Donrell Lewis is his
Wow.
dad.
Wow.
Wide receiver Donrell Lewis when they won
Yes.
those state championship,
Yes.
that's his
Yeah.
dad.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So when Colby decided to say, I'm gonna let that portion kick in, I'm
Uh-huh.
telling you, with their quarterback learning their system, man, they're gonna be a great tandem, bro. A really great tandem. So I'm just giving y'all a nugget to put him on your radar.
He on my radar. He on my radar. When I saw him in the spring game, I was like, "Good God, yeah, you got to look out for him, VK." Go ahead, VK.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nick, man, appreciate what you said earlier and everything else, man. Because like you said before, like there go Jared,
God,
there go Jared. But at the same
God.
time, I appreciate that because trust me, this is what I thought about. That's what I thought about with St. Charles Catholic more than anything else. I thought about the first time they won that state championship, that 4th-and-1 little Cedric Thompson got that, and I was on
Yeah.
that sideline, and Frank Monica asked him, "Do you want the ball?" Say, "I want it. Can you get it?" Yeah, and he was hurt, and he
Yeah.
got that first down. So I'm thinking it's in the blood, and I'm thinking I wasn't surprised that Wayne Stein went at it. And I didn't know you. I didn't know Yusef Jasmine was your nephew as well. He used to play with my cousin at Archbishop Shaw, and that
Uh-huh.
was one of the rare wins he ever had against St. All because he was winless against the Purple Knights when he was a player. Just
Yeah,
being real.
him and Coach Brian Lumar.
Lumar was on some good teams, man. Lumar was a
You know.
real competitor. So just being honest, man.
Oh yeah, man. So, but to say that, to say this, man, I'm excited for this season, bro. And look, and I'm gonna go on record, and I got to give my counterpart, Coach Fronta, and he feels a lot different from me. because he spent more time on the ground with Destrehan. I don't know if Coach Fronta had a talk show by himself, he probably would be more popular than anybody because he's that so entrenched with
Mm-hmm.
Destrehan. He get upset when Destrehan don't do well, and he know they can do well. I said, "Well, Coach, how much y'all won by?" He said 2 touchdowns, but I think it could have been 30. I'm like, for real? Like, don't text my phone.
Gotta ask you this, Nick. Which team out of the River Parishes, even in the Lafourche area or Thibodeau area or whatever, which team do you think is a sleeper this year? Who could be this year's Terrebonne?
Hmm. I would honestly say I would like to see that West St. John would bypass two big games and wind up 8-2 and make a little bit noise in the playoffs. They got a schedule. They got a schedule that they own. You know what I'm saying? And anybody know if you're not an AD and head coaches, and a lot of AD and head coach jobs are not tied together, you pretty much playing with their players and they mess. So with that being said, coach been working them hard. And on TikTok, you can see I posted a video when he was sweating out of his shirt, man. And look, these guys, when you trying to bring young men into the fold and take self out of everything and make it become a team oriented sport, man, that's the toughest thing to do because if you take loss after loss, you can't believe your coach's message until you get that one victory to believe in your coach's message. And then you get that second victory and start believing. And that's what happened to Coach Roussel in Riverside. They really start believing. And when they went to play Harlem Barry and they slapped them around, they said, like, we can do this. You know what I'm saying? So when you got that momentum building in your favor, you can look at those games and say, you know what? I'm gonna look at West St. John in 1A and really say they're gonna start the fan in the fire and be coming back to a prominent figure in the River Parish.
George, you got anything
Yes,
else
sir.
for Campbell? Go ahead.
I do. I'm going to fire my bold salvo since Nick was so gracious to give us his bold prediction. I got one for all of y'all, and it's in the River Parishes. West St. John, I'm glad you mentioned the Rams, Nick, is going to beat St. James this year. They are going to beat St. James this year. St. James lost a ton. And TC Bazile, if you're listening, there ain't no hate on y'all. I was riding y'all last year, and I was disappointed y'all lost that game to Union Parish. But I'm telling you, West
DC
St.
was
John,
hurt,
they on
boy.
the
DC was
they
hurt.
look the second half of the season, the Rams played tough. They didn't win a lot of games because they were young and they were very inexperienced. Now they've gotten a year older. They've gotten a year wiser. I feel like, and St. James, I don't think is going to have that dog team that they had last year that got to the dome. That look, I think we all understand they're going to take a step or so back. They feel like a team that could be what, second round, quarterfinal, something like that.
Yeah,
St. James,
railroad
that be
classic.
it is, but I think West St. John is going to be like, you know what? Now's the time. This the year they might get him. Am I crazy, Nick, or can they get it done?
They can get it done. They can
Okay,
get it done. Remember, the best asset to any great team is your quarterback.
correct.
Their quarterback got baptized under fire last year.
Yes, he did.
So he played those games. So I think he got a little bit confidence in restoring leadership and saying, you know what? Bleed that. These not these dudes anymore. We these
Exactly.
dudes. And I tell you, you know what that would mean for the Edgar community and their tailgate
A
in
ton.
October? Oh my
Oh,
God.
oh,
The recruitment of
absolutely.
St. James players
Ooh,
coming back to
Andrew,
St. John. You know,
and
look,
and for,
it's not a secret. We know the river, the 3127 is 6 miles long for
Yeah,
that
kids. You
it
know
is.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you start winning again, those kids gonna start thinking blue all over again.
that's right. That's
And
right.
they will. My last question to you, VK asked you who's a sleeper. I want to, and I'm going to ask this of every columnist that covers his area, and you're on deck. Which team in your area? Let's focus on your area. Do you feel like is getting too much pub? That you feel like, man, I don't think that it's good, but everybody else is thinking that they are. Is there a team in your area that fits that moniker? Like, man, I don't think they're gonna be this good, but everybody else is loving on them. I don't feel that same love. Who is that team in your opinion?
Uh, is the St. Charles Catholic Comets.
Ooh, okay,
It's
I'm
St.
not
Charles
surprised you
Catholic
said that.
Comets.
I am not surprised you said that
You know,
because
they're gonna
that's a
move up
hangover
in
team.
they're gonna move up in class.
Yep.
And nobody parties like St. Charles. Nobody parties like St. Charles. They're gonna move up in class. They're gonna break in a new quarterback. They're gonna uh they're gonna have some misgivings. They're gonna always play tough, but the schedule really gonna determine who they are
And
because
they play Sean
when
too.
you playing when you look at St. Charles schedule, St. Charles is playing a national schedule.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you bring a national team out of Texas to play, that team not coming unless he thinks he got something and could beat your ass. And they at home. So that's why I'm jostling with that game because is Legacy Texas, I'm saying it right, that they're
Legacy
Oh,
playing.
Texas Sport.
they playing legacy. Oh
Legacy,
Lord.
Legacy, yeah.
Oh, that program's on the come up in Texas,
So
boy.
look,
Them,
look, I got a phone call from one of my guys in Texas. He said, "Man,
mhm.
tell me nigga that we're covering that game there." And I'm like, "Dude, I gotta cover St. James and St. Charles. If I cover them, then I gotta cover St. Charles and somebody else. I can't. That's too many games. And those third games, you can't get those games that you're gonna get back. You get what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I really look. St. Charles went on the people didn't realize it a 9-10 game winning streak, and they was really getting national attention. They was really getting national attention. So a lot of people wanted to play them. St. Charles been playing in Mississippi. Now they going over in Texas, trying to get some ranking. I heard wins of Atlanta. They was trying to get a team out of Atlanta to play in Memphis. Look, I hope and pray that everything is all right, that they can be successful. I know they're going to have a new offensive coordinator. Uh, they're going to have the same defensive coordinator. They lost kids, but we're going to always look at them as a state champion. 2 years in a row, 5 out of 6 years they've been in the championship. Hey man, look, that's where the hype coming from.
Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. And
JB.
it's not going to be as easy when you look at it. They play that team out of Texas, and the next week they go to Bell Chase back in district.
Yep,
Oh,
And that is not going to be an easy game. It's really
yep,
not.
yep. And look, Shaw got that board. We call it the strap. Shaw want him. Shaw want him bad. Shaw got a
Yeah.
running back. You got a running back that got something to prove this year. And St. Charles Catholic is his cutting his teeth moment. So I know JB gonna be at that one. So I want to see all the stats.
I'm gonna have it for you. I'm gonna have it for you, man. I definitely will. Oh man, River Parishes football coming up. I'm excited for Greg Boyne. I'm excited that Marcus Scott to be back on the sideline.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's my guy
excited,
right there.
yeah, excited to see how can Wayne Stein rebound from that heartbreaking loss. Lee Roussel, how he can rebound from his heartbreaking loss. Can Lutcher bounce back? It's a lot of storylines this year for the River Parishes team, man. And Deron Thomas, can he get these guys back to the playoffs for the second round? I mean, for the second year in a row, and have a winning record. It's a lot of storylines to have that they do have for the River Parishes football teams. But
Yeah.
my man, Nick Campbell, my brother,
Oh yeah,
thank you for
man. I,
joining me.
I appreciate y'all. And it's a very exciting time. and I'm not going to tell y'all how many teams that's going to represent the River Parish until I get my co-host with me,
All right.
and because he's going to have something to say about it, and he wear glasses thicker than mine so he can see into the future.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
so if like I'm saying that's Rand not gonna be it, he might know something I don't know, right?
He
So
might, man.
yeah, guys, it's always a pleasure. Just like I said, we got to get together one day. Man, we inviting people into our lives and our conversations. What we really talk about on these sidelines, on Fridays and sometimes Thursday nights, and
Yep.
we really putting together some good content so they can enjoy it. And it's like you touching a person that's really next to the game.
It's true. Very true.
Yep,
Very true. Definitely, Brian.
I appreciate y'all.
Which scrimmage you going to next week? St. Charles
Oh,
got one on Thursday. Hornville on Thursday. Destrehan on Thursday.
I think I'm gonna go and stay at St. Charles because they got four scrimmages at the same time.
oh,
At St. Charles?
And no, I'm saying St. James play Hornville
Right.
that same
on
time.
the same
Yeah.
day,
Uh
JB.
Same time, same
yeah,
day. 5.
yeah, all of them at the same time. And I think I'm gonna be getting off of days. So I'm gonna just try to go straight home.
Okay. I feel you. I
watch
feel you.
watch a little bit of that game, stay home and get healthy. Because this is gonna be a long season for us, fellas. Long and exciting season.
Yes, it
They're
is.
gonna have look, we're gonna Coach Spront and I, we're gonna educate our guys on the select and the non-select and the movement. They got a lot of movement went on. So we gotta get everybody stop being all giddy about the season and really put them in perspective what they're going to be facing because they thinking, oh man, we got to get past Zachary, we got to get past this one. Now we got to really show them where we at right now because the state did kind of roll that ball up a little bit, try
Yeah.
to make it a little bit ultra competitive. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh. Most definitely.
So, guys, keep doing the work y'all doing, man. I appreciate you. Any shift worker that's working night, they appreciate you. Y'all, they might don't see the view as it going on, but I tell them plug these guys in, man, and listen to get some good high school football content.
Appreciate it, man. We appreciate that.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So we're gonna hook up soon, fellas.
We got to. You know it. Most
Yes, sir.
definitely.
That's right.
Nick Campbell.
Yeah,
Nick,
and
go ahead.
tell Miss Robin, thank you for giving me the shout out on Twitter. Because I know she be watching and she finally said, oh, this River Parish team.
No.
Yeah, so we try to bring it to them.
You got that, bro. You got that.
All
Thank you,
right,
Nick.
y'all be good, fellas. Thank you
You
very
too, Nick.
much.
All
You
right,
too, Nick.
man.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Our good friend Nick Campbell. And Nick Campbell says Hornville will beat Destrehan. Oh, yeah. I'm going to put that on the Instagram page and tag some Hornville and Destrehan players, man. Because that's shots fired. Pow, pow.
Right across the bayou.
Yes, indeed. VK
Yeah.
happy over there, smiling because somebody finally agreed with him about St. Charles going for it on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
He happy the most,
Yeah.
boy. Oh,
Getting
oh,
all up in
Bookie
his
got,
feet,
oh,
getting
Bookie
all
got,
showing it. Then he's pointing at you. I'm
point,
like, oh my
point,
goodness.
point. Like, stop pointing your gun,
Man,
man.
there was fighting words.
Oh, man. Yeah, fight words. Who
Whoop,
knocked
fighting
you out?
words. Good night.
Oh, man.
I
Oh,
thought
man.
I think somebody from West Saint I think somebody from St. James must have like, okay, we're gonna have to shut it down for
Uh-huh.
him.
Look, I'm going to keep it real. I don't think Hornville beats Destrehan this year. I don't see it, bro.
I see
They
I see a
physical, but I don't see it.
I see a competitive ball game. I don't see
Ooh.
Hanville winning. I see a competitive ball game, probably for 3.5 quarters, and Destrehan pulls away to win. I think Coach Bourne gonna have them balls ready to play because they're gonna take this rivalry very, very, very serious. And Coach Bourne, I'm telling you, man, yeah, we've seen it before with certain programs in their first year and everything else. Sometimes they do well, or most of the times they're very competitive, meaning that no, you think you're gonna walk all over us? No, we bringing the fight to you. You're going to have to earn your victory. So I really think Destrehan will win this year. Hanville won't win this year, but I think this is going to be a very competitive ball game.
You say competitive. I got Destrehan by at least 3 scores. I do. I think Hornville is going to have a 7-3, 6-4 record back in the playoffs. They didn't make it last year. I think they get that. But I just don't see it, man. Not this year. No, I just don't see him beat Destrehan. What about you, GP?
About Hanville Destrehan, look,
Yeah,
you
you
love
think they beat
you.
Destrehan?
No, no, I don't think so. Listen, let's get to reality. I love Nick Campbell. I know we all do. We got mad love for Nick. We
Yeah,
do. But I'm thinking when he said that, I was like, I don't know if the alumnus act was tied up a little tight or whatnot. That got him a little bit discombobulated. Nah, Nick does great work. Let me preface all that by saying Nick does great work with what he does, and they put the work in and they do a really good job. And it's an honor to have that man on our show every chance we get.
yeah,
But that said, let's get to this Honville Destrehan game. And I said this in the spring. I'm not changing now. It's all about personnel. Destrehan has receivers that Honville ain't got the studs to cover. They're going to get lit up. Jackson Fields is still the quarterback at Destrehan, right?
yeah,
That guy could play.
yeah.
That guy could get it a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot. I don't think the Hahnville personnel grouping. I think it's a better football team than the last few years. And look, this is not crapping
Yeah,
on Daniel Luquette,
no,
but Greg Boyne is really doing a lot. He's changing the culture of that school,
yes,
and it would mean everything if Hahnville could beat Destrehan. I don't think it's competitive. I think Destrehan. Yes, they had 3 touchdowns. I feel like that's the minimum they could win by. I don't think this is close. Hahnville's got to build the personnel grouping and get upgraded talent. They're not there. And it's not going to happen in 5, 6 months or 8 months. I think Destrehan's got them big.
I mean, look. I think Coach Boyne's gonna explain to them how important this game is and how important they need to make this a
Yep.
rivalry again. I really think so. I think he's gonna drill that into them, and I
But
think they're
you
gonna
don't
come
have
out.
the horses, JB.
No, I agree. I think they're gonna come out swinging, but they won't land knockout punches because I think
No.
they gonna walk
Might be a
straight through those
rabbit
punches.
punch.
Could be, but
Exactly.
I just I just don't see it.
And that game is at Destrehan too, so nah. You think Marcus Scott's gonna look at him and say, "Look, they got a new thing going on down there. Let's show them who's still running things." You
Look,
think they ain't got some purpose? Oh, believe me, they coming again.
Cameron Sumrall of Hornville posted a picture. He was watching the show. He posted a picture of us four. I think he heard what Nick Campbell said about Hornville beating Destrehan because he got the eyes emojis going across.
Yeah, that seeing eye emoji.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think
indeed.
he like
Yes,
this, like,
indeed.
oh, he said we're gonna beat them. Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will be joined by the Hall of Famer, Miss Robin Fambrough, right here on the Hash It Out Show.
Welcome to Bayou AV Security. My name is Rusty Mathern, proud owner and operator. We specialize in providing top-notch audio solutions, advanced security cameras, reliable internet services, and stunning permanent holiday lighting. At Bayou AV Security, we are your one-stop shop for all your needs, whether it's enhancing your home entertainment system, securing your property, ensuring a seamless internet connection, or illuminating your outdoor spaces. We've got you covered. We are locally owned and conveniently located on the West Bank. As a fully licensed business, we take pride in delivering quality service you can trust. You can see our exceptional work showcased in the parade of homes. Experience the Bayou difference firsthand. Bayou AV Security, where technology meets reliability, Call us today to experience the Bayou difference.
And welcome back to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB the Sports Guy, joined by VK Jones and George Peppers. Our next guest, she's a Hall of Famer. She works for the Advocate in Baton Rouge, and she's going to talk to us about some of the Baton Rouge area prep schools. We have the one and only Miss Robin Fambrough. Robin, how you doing?
Doing good. How about you guys tonight?
Oh, we are
Pretty
doing wonderful.
good. Yes,
We are
ma'am.
doing wonderful. Let's get right to it. Calicut Baton Rouge, your defending Division One select champions. They lose a couple players, including the quarterback Daniel Bill. What can you tell us about this upcoming team?
They're still going to have a solid squad. That is a program, and they rebuild. They don't, or some people would say reload. This summer they used two quarterbacks in 7-on-7, and it'll be interesting to see if they settle on one or if they decide to go with two. I think that was possibly an option. They've got offensive lineman Irv Smith. He leads the crew of linemen. He's committed to Louisiana Tech. Of course, you have the Bradford brothers in the secondary. Jacob is committed to Houston, but he just got an LSU offer. And then Blaine has offers from everybody. He just narrowed down his top 5. But all the guys around him are good. That one of the reasons why they're not worried as much about the quarterback situation is they have several receivers back who have a lot of experience, including Amari Clayton and Cohen LeBlanc.
Zachary got to the Dome, came up short to Ruston. What can you say about Coach Brewerton's team?
It's going to be a little bit of a different look. Caleb Gonzalez, who split time last year at quarterback, and he was in and out of the lineup some with injuries. He's the guy in command this year. He looks different than a lot of the quarterbacks they've had in the past. He's kind of a shorter guy, kind of a run-oriented guy, but he works a lot on his game. He posted some video doing all the we saw there. And he graduated. Have 35 graduated to college, but
Oh boy.
Seems like we lost Robin for a second. We'll get her back.
We'll get her back.
We'll get her back. All right, here she is.
yeah.
There she goes again.
Yeah, I can hear you. My PC's about to give out.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. Kind of asking it to do a lot of different things.
Gotcha.
But no, Christian Brooks is one of the up-and-coming receivers. When I saw him in 7-on-7, they were without some guys who were either at camps and stuff, and that was when they had St. Aug and Catholic and Carr there. And they afforded themselves very well with the younger guys that they had.
Good deal. VK.
Yes, Miss Robin, man. Miss Robin Fambrough, thank you so much, man, for joining us. And I definitely appreciate it. You are a legend to me and a mentor to me. So just wanted to say that to you from the jump.
Oh, no problem.
Yes, ma'am. Gotta ask you this. David Seminole and the Central Wildcats, really, really good team. And they got a lot coming back, a lot of experience. Could this be a big year for the Central Wildcats?
It could be another year. They've got a few places where they have to fill in and find some guys for roles. But, the quarterback, Jackson Furman's committed to Nichols. Everybody knows about D.K. Mays, the defensive lineman, who's committed to Houston. But they also have a nice-sized line. There are several receivers back from last year. They were kind of getting into the flow last year with the offense and did a lot of good things. It'll be interesting to see who emerges at running back for them. And, they added Corey Lindsey, who was previously the head coach at Liberty, who played in the NFL for a while, and he was an All-American at Southern Illinois. His dad's Keith Woods, the Capital coach. He's one of their defensive coaches now, so that's going to be interesting. And also, DK has a twin, KD, who's pretty good. He's a linebacker.
Very interesting. Very interesting there. Let's talk about the U-High Cubs. U-High Cubs had a slow start, but all of a sudden they rose up late in the season and expecting some good things. Hopefully, coming up for the Cubs. What you hear a little bit about U-High?
Well, I wouldn't say they started slow. They beat Catholic High last year.
They did. They sure did. I didn't mean to say that, but there was some little points, but they really rose up a lot of times this year.
Well, and you got to realize they play what amounts to almost a 5A schedule, so they're a 3A school. So think about that.
Yes.
Emil Pecorella's back as the quarterback, and he threw for 2,300 yards last year. He's got several receivers around him. Zay Martin, who committed to Southeastern. They've got 4 or 5 guys who are committed. Everybody looks at Keelan Moses and going to LSU, but one of the things about that is people spend so much time paying attention to Keelan that opens up a lot. The last couple of years, one of the other linebackers has had over 100 tackles because they're trying to run away from him. And they've got Lamar Brown, the two-way lineman, who's going to be probably a pretty big recruit, it looks like, for 2026. They've got another offensive lineman, John Hebert, who's committed to Navy. So they're just kind of solid across the board, and they always are.
Absolutely. Also, I got to ask you this one question. I'm going to pass it to George Peppers on the questions. I know you've been covering high school for a long, long time, Ms. Fambrough and everything else. And we talked about Catholic, and last season, a rarity for Catholic athletics. Winning a state championship in almost every sport. I think 4 sports they won it last year. But I think
they may have won it in more sports the year before, though.
Really, I didn't realize that.
No, I mean they didn't win baseball last year, but they won basketball. So that's kind of a trade-off.
Right. And it's amazing what they have done. I mean, I never seen anything in the
and their success doesn't just have to do with football, baseball, and basketball. I mean, they're good in soccer. They're good in track. They're good in swimming. They're good in a lot of sports and golf.
Yes, and it was amazing because me and you
And
talked
wrestling.
about. Yes, we talked about that for the top 28, and when they won it the year before, and it was funny because you were saying like they won over like almost close to 100 something state championships, but
right,
finally
but
got one in basketball.
Most of those, half of those were won by Pete Boudreau, the track coach.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Who is formal? Well, he was the cross country coach the last few years. He's formally retired this year.
Wow, amazing stuff here. George Peppers, you're up.
Robin Fambrough. First off, let me also echo what my co-host is saying, and saying that you're one of the legends of our profession, and congratulations on being mentioned into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. You're one of the best. You're one of the goats of journalism in the state of Louisiana, sports journalism in the state of Louisiana, and that's a heartfelt sentiment by all of us. Not a problem. You're welcome. My first question, though, let's talk about a team that won a state championship out of your area last year, not Baton Rouge Catholic, Southern Lab.
Yes.
I was at the semifinal against Ouachita Christian, and VK Jones and I were doing that game. And at about the 4.5 minute mark, I looked at VK. I said, "If Ouachita Christian don't put their foot on the gas, Southern Lab might catch me." He looked at me, had this incredulous look. I was like, "It's not enough time." I'm like, "It is." And Southern Lab quick stroke them. Let's talk about the Kittens this year. Do they have the temerity and the type of team that we can see in the Superdome come the second week of December?
They have 11 starters back. Now, the thing that you have to note about the thing with Ouachita Christian that they pointed out to me, since Darrell Asbury's been the head coach and he's a Southern Lab graduate, Ouachita Christian's never beaten them.
Yep. That's like 3 or 4 times I think they've played them, and they've not been able to get them.
Right. And this year they have to replace the quarterback, Marlon Brown, who graduated. Right now, Jerry Botley, I think, looks to be the guy who's there, but they were playing a couple of kids in 7-on-7. But Coach's son, Marion Asbury, who committed to Southern, He kind of a breakout story last year. He ran for like close to 900 yards. He was a title game MVP, I believe. And he was a kid who totally reshaped his body. He lost like 50 pounds. He had suffered a really gruesome injury when he was in middle school, and it took him a couple of years to get past it. And it's kind of a cool thing. Now, of course, coach is taking a little heat because he went to Jackson State, but that's okay. He's good with it. But no, Denham Hunt, the receiver, really talented receiver, is back. They've got 5 linemen back, and then they added Lamar Thomas, who's a well-known commodity as a defensive coach in our area. He's been at several schools, and he's going to be the DC this year. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. But, I mean, they also play above their class, so to speak. And, I think they've got a lot. But you're going to have to wait and see how the chemistry goes with the quarterback. The thing I'll say about Marlin last year when they played Kentwood and they beat Kentwood at Kentwood, he kind of became that leader who was kind of a bell cow, and he went out and made plays. Like in the game with Kentwood, he got hurt 2 or 3 times and came back in, and you're like, oh, is he going to be okay? And he came back in and he made another play, and they were down, and then they were down again, and then they won. They made a big play at the end of the game to win it.
I watched that game.
Who is that guy this year? We're going to have to wait and see.
Exactly. So identity is going to be revealed at some point this year. But I watched that game against Kentwood. Now, remember, we picked it on the show, and I was the lone wolf that took the Kittens. I thought they could go into the tank and get the W, and they wound up winning. And Marlon Brown, that was a come-out game for him that night. He really made some plays. A school that had an interesting season last year finally won a playoff game. Made it to a state quarterfinal. They did get dismissed by STM. St. Michael the Archangel. It's an interesting commodity. They've always tried to be the precipice team, the build-up team, and they just could never get over the hump in a playoff game, but they finally did it last year. What are you looking at from that ball club this year?
I think they're going to be okay. They've got John Martinez, their top running back. He's returning. They've got a solid group of returning guys, and they have a new quarterback. The quarterback graduated, but the quarterback who was at McKinley last year is now their quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And he was pretty solid down the stretch for them. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that meshes, if it's cohesive and how well they play together. Now, the thing they're most disappointed in, or well, maybe not disappointed, they were supposed to have a stadium ready at their school this year, and they had planned for it, and they're getting closer. Probably what's going to happen is it'll wind up being a soccer debut on the football field.
Okay.
And because they've had to actually move practices, where they're making the stadium is where their practice field was. It's right back behind the school. So if you've seen the pictures online, they've lined the baseball field. He figured out how to configure it, and they've got a 100-yard practice field on the baseball field right now.
Another school that caught our eye 2 years ago, made the Dome, lost a heartbreaker to St. Charles. Kind of had a little bit of a setback last year. They didn't really have the success that they had, but they play an exciting brand of football. Dunham, talk about what they can bring to us in 2024.
Well, anytime you have a 6'5", 210-pound quarterback like Elijah Haven, who's a legitimate 2-sport star, I think he can be as good in basketball. That's kind of scary as he is in football, but both of his coaches believe that. And, the kid's never made a B in his life. And he's just like, the all-American kid and a great athlete. And, you looked at him last year and you're saying, wait a minute, that's a freshman?
Yeah.
And I understand he had a great year on the 7-on-7 circuit this summer and kind of got his name out there. He's already got some D1 offers. They've got a couple of transfers. One is a running back, and the other one, I believe he came from Southern Lab, and then another one who is a receiver who came from Madison Prep, who are eligible this year. That'll probably help because they graduated some of their top receivers, and they graduated some linemen. But Coach Neil Weiner, they do a good job of.
I think the PC went down, JB.
I hope it didn't.
I hope not either, because this was an entertaining
very interesting take on Dunham. Very interesting. Like, wow.
6'5", 210 sophomore quarterback. Yeah. I'm buying.
That's the same quarterback that played against St. Charles Catholic a couple years ago and lit up the comments and everything, and he was an eighth grader at the time. So he's
Dude's
really
got
really good.
freakish size, VK.
Yes, and he's nice on the basketball court too.
Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't seen
Elijah
him on the court.
he's a multi-sport athlete.
Elijah Hagan, he's a real deal. And I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised. He might be the best quarterback in the state in 2 years from now. And who knows? If you have a breakout, he might be the best this year. But he's that good.
But maybe a Dunham team that 2 years ago eyeballed St. Charles, had them dead to rights, and spit the bit late in that game. Last year, a little slight regression last year. What did they get to the second round? I think
We got
quarterfinal,
Robin.
something like that.
We got Robin
Oh,
back.
here we go.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Okay,
Back on my phone.
yes, ma'am.
that'll work. Okay, what were we talking about Dunham? Yeah,
What else you got?
yeah, I
We
know.
were talking about Dunham.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. I was going to ask you. Now, I guess I'm going to piggyback here. Baton Rouge, the dearth of teams that are so good up there. Is there a team that you could qualify from that area that you could put in the sleeper category? If so, who is that team? Oh, doggone phone,
I can't make out
JB.
what you're saying.
I was asking, with the depth of talent
Hello?
in Baton Rouge, with a lot of good teams that they have, is there a team that you look at when you look at the composition of teams this year, elite, good, and all that? Who do you feel like can qualify as a sleeper? Oh,
I don't think she can hear you.
yeah, I don't think so.
He looks frozen.
Yeah, it is frozen. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah, we hear you, George.
We can hear
I
you.
hear you.
Okay,
Yeah. She's frozen.
man,
Oh
I
man.
hate this. This sucks.
It's okay. It's okay. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, though.
log back out, log back in. So
Yes, it. Yes, the log in, log out, log back in. She's frozen. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but I mean,
stay with us, guys. Stay with us.
yeah,
Little technical difficulty on Miss Robbins end. Hopefully, we can get her in here and get this all situated and working good because she's given us a lot of
great
good,
info.
a lot of
And
great info.
someone got taken to school just a little bit ago. I saw the chat.
Leave alone, leave alone. Let's
I
see.
know,
All right,
I know. We got her.
Miss Robin.
Yeah, I think we do. Hold on.
All right,
Hold on.
Hang tight. All right, we got you.
hold on, George.
No, I don't.
But we hear you though. We hear you.
You hear me? Okay, well then let's
Yeah.
see if we can
Let-
continue
Yeah.
this way. Yeah.
Go ahead, George.
Okay, I was asking, with the depth of talent in Baton Rouge and all the teams that are usually bona fide contenders for the Superdome, state championships, and whatnot, is there a team Miss Robin, when you look at the composition of teams up there, that you can say is a sleeper team this year? If so, who is it?
Well, the team that's getting a lot of attention this year in their district, and I think just about all the coaches have picked them, and it's going to surprise you because the district configurations are different than what they used to be.
Yep.
Is Walker in District 55A because they made the quarterfinals last year. They lost some key players, including the return specialist who's running track at Southeastern, Jaden Bardalis. But they have Troy Sylvie, the quarterback, back. They've got running backs and receivers, and they've got a lineman who's a junior, 6'6", 280, who committed to Houston the other day, Charlie Ward. And I get the pick from their perspective because East Ascension has a new coach, and they're kind of retooling. Sandoval has some good prospects too. They've got a quarterback, Cooper Babin, who's one of the up and comers. Dutchtown graduated a lot, but they do have Josh Lewis, who is committed to Missouri. He's a defensive lineman, and LaKeedron Harvey, who's one of their track sprinter, who was also one of their running backs last year. So there's, it's going to be interesting to just see how that district shakes out.
My last question before we get back to you, JB, and I'm asking every expert in their area, and I'm going to ask you in Baton Rouge. A lot of teams getting a lot of ink and everything else, and some teams are not. I'm going to flip the script here. Which team do you feel like is getting too much pub, and you're thinking, I don't know what you guys are seeing. I'm not sure this team's going to be that team. Is there a team that?
I'm not really at the point where I can say that about somebody yet. I think we kind of have to let
Okay.
it play out and see how they go. I mean, I
Yes,
never
ma'am.
say somebody's getting too much or too little. Um, I agree with the coaches in their district that Walker appears to be set to have a good season. I think you've got some others who could come on and do some things, but I think we just kind of have to wait and see how it plays out. Like for example, you've got Lowell Narcisse now at Ascension Catholic as the head coach, and he
Mm-hmm.
has two of the most exciting players we have are Chad Elsie Jr. at Ascension Catholic and Kyrie Paul at Estruma. What does that look like? And of course, Sid Edwards at Estruma is now running for mayor president in Baton Rouge too. So he need, like he needs a new job, but that's Sid.
Miss Robin, 2 years ago, Denham Springs was a major shocking team in the state of Louisiana by going, I believe, 8-2 and reaching the quarterfinals. And a lot of people thought Denham Springs would go far again last season. They didn't even make the playoffs. What can you say
Right,
about?
and that was kind of a step back, and they're doing some things to retool. The quarterback Jerry Horn is back.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like he's played there forever, but he has played all 4 years. And they've got some nice young players coming up. You've got Deshaun and Dejan Goldman, and one of them, Dejan, plays a little bit of quarterback and a little bit of running back. So it'll be interesting to see how they evolve as the season. But we're just going to have to wait and see kind of how it plays out with them.
Yes, ma'am. Brock Mathern takes over at East Ascension. What can you say about them for right now?
We're going to have to wait and see again because he's had to change coordinators now because Lowell was supposed to be his offensive coordinator. He had somebody with him who had already been a coordinator before, so that kind of worked out pretty well. But and they've got the big lineman Ryston Martinez, who's a well-known recruit. But part of the issue there has been the system, getting the system to work, and what system is going to work best for their kids. And they always have talent,
Yeah.
and I'm interested to see how he meshes it together. And I mean, 2 years ago, they were a lot closer than people think. And like I told people, they came close to beating Zachary twice.
Yeah.
And of course, don't forget that Darnell Lee's at Donaldsonville now.
That's right.
And I'll be interested to see. A lot of people are expecting them to kind of make a move.
VK, any more questions for Ms. Robin?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We haven't really talked about Madison Prep. What does Madison Prep looking like this year? They've been digging and digging, and they've been improving year after year. But what do you think this year?
Well, they have a state title in 2020, so it's not like they're an unknown commodity. And Calvin Spears Jr., who has one of the best football pedigrees in Baton Rouge, he's committed to Navy. He committed to Navy last week. His grandfather is Calvin Nicholas, who was a star at McKinley and then at Grambling and played in the USFL. And his father, Calvin Spears Sr., was a star at Estruma and at Grambling. So he's like 6'5", 215. And he's the kid that kicked the 2 winning field goals, one against U High and one against St. Thomas More when he was younger. He was a soccer player, never played much football until he came there. So he's one guy. Their quarterback, most people don't realize it, Tylen Johnson has been their quarterback since Zion Chris graduated. And this is his 3rd year as a starter. And they also got back Ross Ackman, who was their coordinator when they went to the championship in Natchitoches, and then a couple of years after that, he was a J.S. Clark in Opelousas briefly, and now he's back as their OC. And they always have size on the line. And one of the guys that I think they've got 3 that are over 300 pounds. One of them that's kind of notable to me is his name is Roderick Walker. And if you followed Estruma back a number of years ago, His father was Robert. His father is Robert Walker, who was a star at Estruma and then at Southern University. His grandmother was Janice Walker Charles, who was a very successful basketball coach at Glen Oaks.
I remember that name very, very well. Coach Janice Walker Charles was amazing as a
Yeah,
head coach at Glen Oaks. I remember that
and she
coach
was a star.
very
She was a
well.
star player at Albany. So and at Southeastern too.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
yeah, she was. She actually still ranks on Southeastern's all-time list. As a matter of fact, Landry Williams, a lot of the people in Madison Prep are Glen Oaks people, and Landry Williams, I think she taught Landry Williams, the head coach, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, I think they've got a chance to be very good. They're still in the district with U High, and you know, Parkview's kind of retooling. They graduated a lot, but they did pick up a quarterback who transferred over from Dunham, and they have a receiver back who Brock Como, who had over 1,000 yards receiving last year.
And I'm glad you mentioned Parkview Baptist. They've really been making a emergence these last couple of seasons, and also a team that's making a lot of improvements. And that's Baton Rouge Episcopal. What does Episcopal's offer this season?
Well, Episcopal kind of does what they do, and I mean, he's one of our, besides Sid Edwards, our next highest coach with number of wins, closing in on 200. He's in the 170s right now, and they graduated some key players, but they do have a guy back, Reed Chauvin, who was 1,000-yard rusher last year. They have a linebacker, Chase Cresson, who had 103 tackles. So I mean, they're going to run the ball. They're going to be solid fundamentally. And whenever they play Dunham, it's a great rivalry.
Indeed, indeed. Last question, and I'm gonna give it to JB to close it out. The one team that really shocked a lot of people last season, and they're hopefully looking to repeat some things. Head coach David Oliver and the Saint Amar Gators. What you can say, what's going on with Saint Amar, and what
Well, I
they're going to
mentioned
do
them earlier. They had some injuries last year. I don't think was everything that a lot of teams don't always have everything they want. I think they had some injuries last year. It's a typical group for them. They have 57 lettermen coming back, and Cooper Babin, his dad was a quarterback at Santa Maud. He's one of the assistant coaches, the OC, and they've got a good running back coming back. They've got a couple of wide receivers who are back in the fold, and then they have a young man in the secondary, Caleb Bricks, who's pretty good too. So, that's I think a lot for them is to get all the pieces in place. Hopefully, avoid some injuries. I think they had some shots at things last year, and but it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Miss Robin Fambrough, we just want to thank you for joining us. We truly, truly, truly appreciate you doing this.
Well, no problem. You guys have a great rest of the evening.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you,
You
ma'am.
too.
Bye-bye.
And as I'm removing guests, I accidentally knocked out George. George, come on back, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, George. I hit the wrong thing. My fault, George. But Miss Robin Fambrough is wonderful, man. All the insights that she gave us with this, man. This is why she's a legend. My apologies, my friend George. I hit the wrong thing.
I know. It's all right.
Thank
It's
you,
all
George.
good.
Thank you.
It's all to the good. But
So before we get to our next topic, who will be the best team in Baton Rouge this year?
You go first, George. You go first.
me?
Yes.
You wiping them tire tracks off, sir? He
Ah,
wiping them tire tracks, JB.
man,
It's all good.
I'm
Listen,
good, man.
you when I get you, I get it. Look, that's a legend, though. But with that being said, when you talk about Baton Rouge, JB, I said this in the interview with Robin, the depth of talent of those that area provides. You look at that area and you're like, okay, there's more than 4 or 5 teams that on the regular could be like, you know, if things break, that's the team that's going. There's a couple of y'all are going to get to New Orleans on the second weekend of December, 12th through the 14th this year. For those that don't know, um, but as far as who's the best team, by default, you got to give it to the team that won it last year in the last game of the weekend. That was Baton Rouge Catholic. Until proven otherwise, and the thing with that, they didn't start with the greatest of, you know, um, really convincing wins. Remember, Warren Easton went into their house and dropped a bunch on them.
Yeah.
So, and they figured it out. And Daniel Beal is Daniel Beal, but he's no longer there. He's not walking through those doors anytime soon, unless it's alumni night. But he's not playing quarterback. So by default, guys, I would say Baton Rouge Catholic, but I'm going to reserve judgment because I asked about Dunham for a reason, and I feel like that team might be one of those where they slipped a little bit last year. They got this young quarterback as a sophomore now. I think they're a team that's going to be heard from before this year is out. Maybe they're this year's St. Paul that made a big run last year that snuck up on people. I think VK, I think Dunham's got that team. Another team that's going to get my attention because all of a sudden Chad Maffey didn't forget how to coach, and that's Walker. I think Walker's going to have something to say too before this year's out. I feel like they got pieces offensively. Their line is solid, as Miss Fambrough pointed out. Defensively, they're going to have to fine tune things a little bit. But Walker and Dunham are teams I'm going to pay attention to behind BRC right now.
I can understand that, and I can agree with you on Walker. I think Walker is going to have a huge year this year. I think Saint Amal is gonna be loaded. Like I'm shocked that the majority of the team is back. So it's gonna be unbelievable what they're gonna do and everything. Yeah,
Hmm.
gotta love what David Oliver is doing. You know, I think the best team in Catholic is really good, but I think the best team in Baton Rouge is University Lab. University Lab returning multiple starters, very, very talented. They had a winning record despite a very, very tough schedule. And I think they're going to step it up another notch this year. I think the best team, it's pretty close this year, but I really think by a smidge,
And
University Lab.
adding to his point, JB, University almost beat St. Charles in the playoffs last year in the semis. If I remember right, they
Yeah,
lost
yeah,
I think they
by a
lost
field
by a
goal.
field goal. Yeah, they
Field goal.
lost 31-28, and there were many chances for that Cubs team to upset the apple cart. They gave St. Charles a war for 48 minutes. Came up on the wrong end late, but I could see VK's point at U High, and they beat BRC last year, correct?
They
Yes.
beat Baton Rouge
Did
Catholic
they not?
early.
They
They beat them. They beat
yeah,
them early. And next week lost to
they would
Rummel. Lost to Rummel in the
yeah,
final.
exactly.
And then
A
Shaw beat
Rumble
Rummel.
team that was a mass unit last year. It was
Ah,
a mass unit at Rummel, but they got to a semifinal Rummel, and you could make the argument that they could have knocked off Catholic if that game wouldn't have got stopped by Mother Nature. Maybe. It was
maybe.
14-14 when that rain came.
We'll never know. Can we get VK
Nope.
Olympic thoughts on synchronized swimming since we got the gymnastics thoughts last night? Ha ha, no. But we're going to talk about something else in the Olympics right here on the Hash It Out show right after this commercial break.
Of head coach of the Hornville Tigers boys basketball team, and you are watching the Hash It Out Show.
You're watching the Hash It Out Show!
And we are back here on the Hash It Out show. And we're going to have our last topic for today. And if you watched the Olympics today, we had a lot of amazing stuff happen. Sydney McLaughlin wins the 400 meters hurdles again and breaks home world record. Grant Holloway wins the 110-meter hurdles. And then you have Mr. Noah Lyles himself running the 200-meter finals and gets to third place. No one's talking about the first place winner who won gold medal, Mr. Tobago from Botswana. No one's talking about him. What are we talking about? People are talking about Noah Lyles collapsing on the track, getting medical attention, And then, 10 minutes after, he has COVID. And then, he tested COVID 2 days earlier. That's what everybody's talking about. I'm going to give you the real, ladies and gentlemen. As you all know, Noah Lyles is a loud, arrogant, showboating person. He wants the spotlight. He wants the attention all on himself. Congratulations, you won the 100 meters. You got your gold medal. Congratulations. You are the world's fastest man still. Ladies and gentlemen, when Noah Lyles ran that semifinals in the 200, Noah Lyles do right then and there. His chances of winning were very slim. They were slim as hell. So, if he doesn't win the finals, what could he do to keep the spotlight on himself? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you saw it today. Because he wasn't even close to the first place winner. And Kenny Bednarik beat him today, too. What could he do to keep the spotlight on him? Oh, I'm going to fall on the track. Bring me some water. Bring me some water. Bring me some water. I need water. Oh, I can't breathe. I can't breathe all of a sudden. And then the reporter goes down there and his mom tells him he has COVID. He's had it since 2 days ago. But then Noah Lyles walks back into the track with a mask on, like nothing is wrong with him, and does an interview. I'm sorry, people. Y'all can be gullible if you want. But this is when someone wants the spotlight on himself. He always does. And he took the shine away from the guy who won gold medal. And y'all can say what y'all want, but I'm going to say this. He got COVID, right? Need to save his energy, right? Just for the race, right? When they announced his name, what did he do? He ran 20 meters, jumping up in the air, yelling like he always does. But he acted like Michael Jordan with the flu game. I'm not going to say he acted like Michael Jordan. Because we knew Jordan had the flu before the game, Kenny. If I was told 2 days ago he had COVID, I'd probably have a different stance. I probably would. But I don't. He put the attention back on himself and took the attention away from Tobago, who won the gold medal. But there's somebody else on this show that believes Noah Lyles. And I'm going to let him speak.
you setting people up on this show, huh?
I ain't setting nobody up. I'm speaking the realness.
Yeah, that's fine. You can speak the realness, my brother. You can speak the realness. I'm gonna be honest and looking at things. All right. For one, what Noah Lyles did and everything else, and looking at all this other stuff and everything, I totally get it. I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? I do agree with Jared a little bit on here, a little bit about his cockiness. Sometimes it's a little bit way too much, because I seen something when he said, "Oh, the 100," or he said, "Oh, the 100 is like my mistress, 200 is my wife." So he said that. He had the audacity on the World Championships to say, "Oh, so what the NBA players and NFL players, the championships they win, is not considered world championships and everything else." So I was like, "Wow, you're very, very bold." I didn't like it either, but I'm like, "God, dog, you're very bold." Where it was looking, he won the 100s. All right, this your chance to back your talk. Now I do agree. He shouldn't have even went out there, and he should have been a lot more focused than he was before he even hit that track. Not come out there and be all hype. Shouldn't have did all that. You know what I'm saying? Now he ran it, came up short, kind of put a foot in his mouth. But at the same time, I see what Jared talking about, but what we not gonna do. This is what we not gonna do.
I want to hear this.
And I didn't seen this before in all sports. I didn't work in I didn't cover the high school game. I didn't cover the college game. I even covered the pro game. There are sometimes when you look at a person after a play or something, and you see it in their face, but not just that, you see it in their body language, something wasn't right, something not right. And then sometimes they gotta get the medical attention because, bruh, I get the thing that you're talking about, like, yeah, he just wanted to, I get that. But there was something I seen in Noah Lyles that made me think something not right with Noah. Something not right. I'm not trying to make no excuses for the man or none of that. It's just the fact when you see somebody that's kind of unhealthy, something is up because no way in the world he that tired, falling out like that and everything else. So it's just like I was just like, man, something is up. Like I know he got to be some way somehow worn out, but at the same time, something else is up because something wasn't right. When you see it in somebody's face or somebody's body, and it's just like, wait a minute, dude, you're not something not right. Because you're not moving right, you're not getting up, you're not a lot of that energy wouldn't go. Now he should have saved that hypeness. I get that. And put a foot in his mouth. But at the same time, if there is a proven, the biggest thing is we got to see the proven test. If there is a proven, if they have paperwork to say it's a proven test, then we understand the attention stuff, but we cannot judge anybody when somebody is sick and getting out there. Notice it's not even close to the Jordan flu game at all, period. But at the same time, we got to keep this thing in perspective. If they have a test, evidence of the test itself, then guess what? The man has COVID. The man worn down, and he didn't look himself after the race was over. So that's just what it is. That's how I see it. But at the same time, yes, he put his foot in his mouth. Me and Jared, I'm on the same page with you on that. He did put his foot in his mouth, big time. But at the same time, I really thought he didn't look right after that race. Something, that body language in his face, it looked like a man, somebody that's worn down or sick.
I'm gonna tell you what you
Just
saw.
saying.
I'm gonna tell you what you saw. I don't know what you saw with any man coming out there running. Let's go! I don't know what you saw, but I'm gonna tell you what you saw. Yes, you saw a look of doubt on the man's face. That's what you saw, because the man saw it in the semifinals when he saw Tobago win that, and he was like, "Okay, oh Lord." You saw doubt. You saw doubt in his face, knowing his chance of winning was slim. That's the first thing you saw.
Tobago
Ain't no excuse. That
Tobago,
sucker lost that race. He lost fair and square, but he had to make it about him. If they came out 2 days ago and said this, I'm telling you, my stance is different. My stance is different on the fact that I probably say maybe he had it. But to say this 10 minutes after he lost the race, they can go to hell with that. I don't believe a goddamn word that he had COVID all of a sudden. All of a sudden? Nah, man. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. He put the spotlight back on himself. Plain and simple.
Before you go, George, Jared, I'm very proud of you on that last thing you said. I'm very proud of you on that because that word didn't slip out. So that's a good job on that.
Oh wow.
But at the same time, no, I'm just saying because you kept it clean, my brother. That's all I'm saying. But at the same time, that Tobago did a hell of a job. He was looking like Alpha the other day in the women's 100. Straight bullet. Nobody was catching that guy. So George,
let me say this before George go. Because Tobago did come out with a statement. You know what he said? I can never be the face of track because I'm not loud and arrogant like Noah Lyles. Oh, I think you see the same thing that I saw. Go ahead, George.
Okay, my turn, right?
Yeah.
No interruptions, right?
No interruptions.
Because guess what? It's about due time. I'm gonna let it fly. Before we started this show tonight, VK challenged me to watch the race and not to pander to your side, JB. But to me, I feel the first thing you announced you had COVID after the race. Okay, hey IOC, you let this man with COVID run in a 200-meter championship gold medal race? What the? Excuse me, I'm not going to say it, but really? Come on, IOC, y'all dropped the ball a lot in these Olympics. This has been the by organization skills, Paris has been garbage with these Olympic Games. Pure D garbage. And today encapsulates that. You let a man with COVID that can infect other people, what strand does he have? If he's really sick, what strand of COVID does he have? Is it the worst one? Get out of here with that foolishness. He got his ass whooped in the semifinals by your boy from Botswana. It's not Botswana, it's Botswana.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Thank
And
you.
you're good. I got you. I got you covered. So he got dusted fair and square. I mean, that dude punished him in the semifinal. You know, for me, the Olympics are about great stories, and no one else don't qualify as a great story. You look at Sha'Carri Richardson. I hope she won't. I don't know if they ran the 4x100 today, the women's
Yeah,
relay.
they didn't run the finals. They ran
Okay, they ran the
the
semis.
heat
So
semis. Yeah, yeah. They
hopefully they win the gold and she gets her gold medal. I so wanted her to win last week against Alfred, the chick from St. Lucia.
yeah.
And hey, if you want to see a watch party celebration,
That
you
was
want to know why the Olympics are the greatest sporting event, go look at there's a Twitter feed, somebody that videotaped the race in St. Lucia. Man, look, small nation, island nation, and they get a gold medal in the fastest race on the Olympic schedule. But back to Mr. Big Mouth. You know what Noah Lyles also said in advance of the Olympics?
a
That
whole lot.
he was gonna dust Usain Bolt's world record in the 200. Look, they said that dude's 6'5" and can dog walk your stupid self. Get out of here. You ain't touching that world record. No. And then when he got beat in the semifinal to but the guy, I forget the guy's name, Asuelo, how do you say his name? The dude from Botswana?
Tobago,
The dude that, who?
Tobago, Tobago.
Tobago. I mean, and look, congratulations to him. Why are we not shining the spotlight on that dude?
That's what I'm talking about.
Botswana doesn't have a lot of uh, traffic. Botswana doesn't have a lot of elite track stars in the 100 or the 200. I mean, they're more the marathon, like Ethiopia, Kenya, and all those countries. The other African nations, they're more proficient in the longer races. So the man wins the 200, which is a monumental achievement. Congratulations, Mr. Tobago. Your moment almost got taken away by an egomaniac. Noah Lyles is an egomaniac. And again, I'm just going to beat this point till the cows come home. If that dude said he had COVID, which I don't believe for a second at all, and then Enrique, you talk about he didn't look right. He didn't look right. You know what happened? He got smoked, is what happened. Because that dude left him in the 200 final. That dude said, "That's what you got? Watch this." Whoosh. Looked like a cheetah against a tortoise in that race. I mean, just saying. I mean, that's one where the freaking rabbit beat the turtle, right? So to me, it's it's an egocentric loss. And look, I root for America to do well. I mean, look, they're going to win the medals. They're going to win the medals race. They've already got the gold medal uh, tally. If they continue to finish off some of these events that you figure they're going to win, like the women's basketball, the women's soccer team is in the final. That would be a hell of a comeback story, considering the leanness that they had in the last few tournaments. I'm rooting for that women's team to get it done in the in soccer. The men's basketball team, I don't know if we're going to touch on that. Don't get me started on that because I got a lot of savage thoughts on that game against Serbia. But at the end of the day, y'all, look, Noah Lyles is a good athlete, but he learned today he ain't that dude. He ain't that guy. He's a good guy that won the 100 by a lucky lean. And even the NBC guys that called that 100 got it wrong. And the dude, I'll tell you what, big ups to that man. I forgot his name. The man that called the 100 for NBC. He admitted, he said, "Man, I got it wrong." He thought Thompson had won at regular time, in regular speed, but Noah dipped at the line. And I saw it, when they did the slow mo. I watched that race back. And when Noah dipped, I was like, "You sure?" I was like, "Man, I don't think Thompson got there." I thought Lyles dipped, and I was right. And they gave it to him by 5/1000ths of a second. How you like that margin of victory? Whew. But JB, jokingly, I want to say this to you. It sounds to me the way you're venom about Noah Lyles. I don't know if you threw a C note on that man to win the 200. Just I'm kidding when I say that. I'm kidding when I say that. But it sounded a lot of bitterness. But the bitterness is justified. It really is. At the end of the day, you know, Noah Lyles ain't that dude. He thought he would win the double. He thought he would smack Usain Bolt's world record. Get out of here. Go back home, Berg. Get your mind right and check your ego at the door. Check your stuff at the door. Look at the Olympics and the athletes that have won medals. Look at Simone Biles, the comeback. And I get what you were saying last night. Um, like I mentioned, the women's soccer team doing great things, getting into the final. The volleyball team, I think they won their way to the final today. I think they were in the semi. I got a peek at it early, and they had won the first two sets. I don't know if they finished it. I didn't get a chance to look because work is work.
Right.
But I hate the fact that the Olympics are ending Sunday. You know, um, and one of my coworkers, funny story today, saying, "Why are you watching the Olympics? They got preseason football on tonight." I said, "You do that. Go
Yeah.
ahead. You can watch all that. Not me. Give me the Olympics. I know it's taped, but I'm watching." It's like, dude, really? I mean, and the Giants are playing tonight against the Lions, but yippee, right? Them
Right.
them games don't count. But yeah, JB,
Lions, the
that's
Lions and the Giants had better practices in the game you see today because they were swinging at each other. They've been fighting
yeah.
left and right.
Malik Neighbors, Daniel Jones. I know it's fight day at
Lee
in
Neighbors,
practice this week.
man, he wasn't even trying to fight. he hit somebody that ran. Your boy came up on him. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, bro, you snuck that dude for what? Come on, bro.
I don't
Cool
know.
that.
But it, if I
Foolishness.
but if I'm the US track coach, to be honest, and seeing all what you've seen today and everything else, no allows to not run in the damn 100 in the damn 4x100 relay on
He,
Friday.
he sat there and said, "I think they got enough to win it without me."
Really? Yeah, they should win it without you. And I'm sorry, and I hate to say it, Noah Lyles is a complete that's a complete idiot, to be honest with you. He need to get his mind right more than anything else. He need to mature and be better than what he is. It's ridiculous in itself. And no, I would not. I would lose to Bolt. I would not even race. I'm like, you can have it. I would not. That dude. That dude. See, there's some people that deserve a whole lot of leave alone. That dude deserve a whole lot of leave alone. I ain't messing with no Usain Bolt. I'm sorry. I throw my hands up.
That happened. All right, guys, let's quickly talk about this and we'll get out of here. Been a long show. The so-called Avengers. I don't know what they're avenging. The FIBA World Championships, I guess that's what they're avenging. But the USA basketball team made it out alive today by coming back in the fourth quarter to defeat Serbia, 95 to 91. When the fourth quarter started, they were down 76 to 61. They were down at by 17 points at one time. Um, Defensively, they didn't play good defense to the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, they were a better defensive team. MB stepped up in the fourth quarter. Steph Curry, this is the Steph Curry game. 36 points. He did what he had to do. LeBron with a quiet triple double. KD coming up big later on. That was pretty much it right there. Devin Booker hit a big three in the fourth quarter also, but I think he only had 4 points. But other than that, I'm not understanding Steve Kerr's logic, his rotations. I'm really not. Number one, I think we all can agree Jason Tatum needs to be playing. Even if Jason Tatum is not shooting the ball well, you need his length as a wing defender. You need that. You're not even using that. That kills me. KD is coming off the bench because he agreed to come off the bench due to having a sore Achilles. So we don't want that injury to happen again that we saw in the finals years ago. So I get that. But man, I don't understand why Tatum not in the game. Anthony Edwards has been up one game, down another game. And I just don't know why Steve Kerr doesn't stick with the hot hands. And if you the defensive pressure presence, you need a Tatum. I sat here and said Jalen Brown needed to be on that team because Kawhi was gone. So you need another wing person that can defend also and score the ball. They picked Derek White, and Derek White has just been horrendous. Also, I can't honestly sit here and say, yeah, they're gonna win Saturday at 2:30 when they play France.
France.
Because number one, this is in Paris, France. And number two, the fans will be all of France, whatever you want to say. It is home court advantage for France. And France lost to them in the gold medal game 3 years ago. Can USA do it? Yeah, they can. I just don't know if they will. And if they don't win it, you know LeBron is about to get most of the shellacking, VK.
Man, I tell you, a lot of questions that and I definitely agree with you, Jared, that Jalen Brown should have been on his team for one from the jump anyway. Two, why Jason Tatum is not on the floor. You're absolutely right on that. I don't understand it. You need that not just that defender, but that extra scorer as well.
Right. He was the
So
second best player for the USA in the Olympics 3 years ago behind KD.
exactly, exactly. So I don't understand that with Steve Kerr and everything else. And yeah, the defense should have been better. They should have been more consistent than anything else. But at the same time, I give Serbia a lot of credit. You have to think this was payback game. You have to think. Hey, George, let me talk. You see
You're
this
good.
all the
I ain't
time
saying
in
nothing.
sports. Oh, no. I'm saying you see this all the time in sports, George. All the time. When there's a rematch game, you know that this ain't about to be the same game. You know that because that team, especially Serbia, you have to think they're coming off of a huge high. They came off beating Canada, and I really thought it could have been U.S. Canada in the semis, and that's a huge win against a talented, very talented Canada team. And for Serbia to come out smoking the way they did, there was like U.S. You got to earn your way to the gold medal game, and give credit to Jokic and also to Bogdanovich. It was like, bro, we ain't about to let you have this easy. Come get it. And that's what the U.S. had to do. Great comeback in the fourth quarter to get it done. But there was some times, and I'm getting to you, George, because I do agree with you on one thing. There was a lot of lapses in this game, and it shouldn't have happened. There was some shots like in the fourth quarter, no threes. Good job, but at the same time, there were times that people were wide open, missed rebounds, missed this, missed that. Very fortunate that Serbia missed the shots. Very fortunate. So, my thing with Embiid, and I'm sorry, and I'm going to say it myself, Embiid is very talented, but Embiid can be lazy as a big man. Lazy. Because I'm sorry, big as he is, you should dominate everything. Do what you can to dominate, meaning get the boards, get everything else. Don't let people, little as you, get boards. Don't let people out hustle you. That is that kind of problem.
Yeah,
There's a reason
he
why that
wasn't
the
boxing
Sixers,
out. He wasn't boxing out today at
exactly,
all. Oh, let's see that right.
exactly
Come
the
on, bro.
point. There's a reason why the Sixers ain't get to the next level. So plain and simple, he stepped up late, but at the same time, he got to be better than that. And there are times that they missed a lot of rebound, a lot of laps. I'm just saying like this. United States got to come out better. They do have a chance in the gold medal game. It will not be easy. I've been right. I've been a little bit right on this thing that the world has caught up. You've been seeing it because the way these people are playing, they're not laying down. In France, the last time they played was an absolute classic. And it will be an absolute classic again on Saturday in front of that home crowd. I'm telling you, I think the U.S. wins the gold, but it's gonna be by the skin of their teeth.
Okay. I said this in the chat, in our group chat. And I'm gonna be bold and say it right now. The United States did not win today. The scoreline says they did. Serbia lost that game today. Plain and simple. You got a team that's got a three-time MVP and Nikola Jokic and Bogdanovic, who could get his own shot and shoot threes on the regular, a 7-footer that could shoot threes. You hit 15 threes in the first 3 quarters of this game. 15. They were lights out, but yet you get gun shy in the fourth quarter with the lead. They played not to lose. That's what Serbia did in the fourth quarter. The United States didn't do anything, in my opinion, to warrant that they made a great comeback. I think Serbia pulled the ultimate gag job today. Now, and you mentioned France with an epic win over Canada. I don't think it's that epic. I've watched this tournament from the beginning. Canada has been grossly overrated. They have not played, weren't playing nowhere near their best basketball.
Murray struggled.
Exactly. And France, they got the twins. They got Wembanyama and Gobert. And look, I'm not the biggest fan of Gobert, but
Gobert
Victor,
ain't done nothing. Gobert ain't done
no,
nothing.
At
he's
all. At
He
all.
ain't
useless.
done nothing at
But
all.
no, but
Yeah.
no, but Victor's that dude. I mean, Victor is that
Wembanyama,
dude.
yes.
Yes.
And when they trade him to the Knicks in another year, I mean, that'll be awesome for us. I'm just throwing it out there. I know, Jared, you're a Spurs fan. I get it.
We ain't trading him.
But as far as Saturday goes, look, if y'all come on here and start talking about, oh, look, George is anti-America, he hates America. If I hated America, I wouldn't even be living here right now. First of all, I think France is going to dust the U.S. They flipped the switch. Look who they beat today. You talk about Canada, Germany, the reigning world champions, who beat the United States last year to win the FIBA World Cup. That's who France took out. And I don't want to hear, well, they're home, they're home. They didn't look good in the group stages, France. They really didn't look that good. And point spread muggles and all that. Canada was an 8-point favorite in that quarterfinal, and they got dusted. France punished them in every way. So the French have really flipped the switch here. If the United States comes out today, Saturday, like they did today, if they start Saturday like they did today, game will be over by halftime. With that crazy crowd in Paris, that game will be over by halftime. They got no way back. France wins this gold medal. U.S. settle for silver. And Steve Kerr, go back to coaching 101, dude. You don't even know how to utilize your assets. And people are going to say, well, he did win championships at Golden State. Some of those teams, I think one of us could have coached them teams and won championships. You know, I am not the biggest fan of Steve Kerr as a head coach. I think he's tactically overrated. Yes, he's won, but tactically, y'all pointing it out. How in the world is Jason Tatum not on that floor? How? And Derek White, man, I've seen dudes on the street that could play better than him in these Olympics. I mean, street basketball. Get one of them New York Playboy dudes to go on there. Derek White's been pure garbage in these Olympics. And I know one of our friends is one of our dear friends is a Celtics fan, Reggie Johnson. I'm calling out. I'm defending your man Tatum, but Derek White ain't nothing. Derek White's useless. And VK mentions Joel Embiid. I've seen big men do things, and he's got the ability and the skill set to be that guy. And he hasn't been that dude in this tournament, has he? He hasn't been. And LeBron, he's found the fountain of youth in this tournament. Quietly popping triple doubles, having dominant scoring games. LeBron James is LeBron James. He's going to get that. And then the farcical argument: if the U.S. wins gold, LeBron's going to be anointed the GOAT. Get out of here with that nonsense. The goofiest statement I've seen in these Olympics, and columnists need to just take a chill pill. You see, Brian Windhorst, I respect the dude's knowledge of the NBA, but he came out a few days ago, and I think it was on First Take, and stated, and I quote, "This team has more depth than the 1992 Dream Team." No, they don't. No, they don't. They do not. I mean,
Not, not when you're not playing Jason Tatum.
well, no, but I mean, even if you are, come on now, you line them rosters up. Who you taking? 92 all
I think
day.
Dream Team. I think Dream Team
Um,
without a doubt.
you got to
I
take the
mean,
dream team.
yeah,
It,
there's no doubt.
and the thing about it is, this team not even close to the redeem team. Come
That was
on, man.
the '08 team, right?
Yeah,
2008.
it's not even close
Okay,
to the redeem team.
get out of here with
Come
that
on, man.
nonsense.
It's like Brian Wilhoe saying that that's true asinine. It's just wow,
It's
dog.
stupid.
Like
It's heat of the moment.
you
It's prisoner of the
better than
moment,
this.
VK.
better than that, man. You better than that. That's just
He
come on.
is. He's a depth of knowledge of the NBA. He does a great job, scoops a lot of people, does a great job. He hustles. But come on, man, you throwing that opinion out there? Yeah,
Leave Wendy alone. He can be wrong
Yeah,
once in
that's
his
true.
life.
That is true.
He can be wrong once in his life.
yeah. Well, that's an egregious wrong, JB. That's an egregious wrong.
I know. I know. All
Very good.
right. All right, everybody. We about to come to a close. VK, we got a guest on Tuesday.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do have a guest on Tuesday coming up. We have, let me make sure we get this right. Matt Moscona of after what it was after further review in ESPN Baton Rouge. He'll be joining us for the entire show on Tuesday. So that will be
We
Tuesday
about to
show.
talk LSU in New Orleans Saints the whole show.
Yeah, we're gonna
Matt
be doing
Moscona.
that a lot on the day on the
Yeah.
regular.
Yeah.
Then we got other guests coming up. What the other guests we have, and
So
also what?
Wednesday. So we got Matt Moscona Tuesday.
Yes.
Wednesday we have um Lamar Gafford on Wednesday. Just Lamar Gafford. And then Thursday we have let me back up. Lamar Gafford on Wednesday, talking about the Central Area high school football teams. Thursday, 7 o'clock, we got Jimmy Watson. We're talking the Shreveport area teams. And right after him, we have Chris Singleton. We talking the Bayou area teams. So we are on the air Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Starting with Matt Moscona. We're going to talk LSU and the New Orleans Saints with Matt Moscona. Oh, I'm going to love it. Might have to throw a little roll tide in there, get them riled up.
Mm.
You still riding that tide after Saban left, huh? Boy, boy, boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna see the Tide
Sell
beat
out,
two at Tiger Stadium.
sell out on VK.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, come on, bro.
yeah.
Me and my sellout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you was
Hey,
yeah.
I didn't like
That,
Les Miles. I didn't cheer for them. Coach O was there. I cheered for Coach O. And then you got this coach now that I really can't stand. Now
well,
I'll
if
play it. It's Corday, and Cortez, my dudes.
mhm.
What up, Corday? Corday hates it. Cortez hates it.
Yeah, they're gonna
Let
put
me
you
stop
around that
playing.
street corner.
If we
Let me
go to
stop playing
if,
my boys.
if we are fortunate enough to go to LSU and Bama this year, some way somehow, what outfit you wearing for that day? What colors are you sporting? I know if we had if we had media passes, we're gonna have to be professional. But if we have tickets to the game, what outfit you wearing, my friend?
Man, I'm rocking with my boy Corday, man. Corday, come with the purple and gold. Corday, you heard me? You heard me?
Mm-mm.
But underneath, I might have that roll tide underneath it.
Oh my God.
Let me stop messing with y'all,
Boy,
man.
you gonna get a shot. That's what you gonna get. You gonna get a
Stop
shot.
messing with my
Yeah,
boy
we gonna.
Corday hates it, Cortez. Let me stop, man. Let me stop, baby. Let me stop.
The only
Ah,
time I'm gonna be wearing, I did it last year when I went to Southeastern playing Nichols. I wore kind of enemy territory because that's my alma mater. I'm gonna have to do it again when Nichols play Southern. So I might have to do that again myself wearing.
it's cool though.
I know that's what I'm saying because I know people at Southeastern well, but I had to wear that. But now I know somebody playing for Southern, and so many people that went to school. It's like a family school, and going. I really want to be there, and like I told my boy, I said, "Don't be surprised. I'll be wearing that Nichols red that day." So just got to represent the alma mater. So that's just what it is, man. But any other day, I would find some Southern stuff and be like, "Hey, we represent the Jags. What's up?" But that day, it's gonna be Colonel time that day. So that's just what it is.
I hear you, bro. Everybody, we gotta go ahead and roll out. Some of us got work in the morning. So for PK Jones, for George Peppers, I'm JB the Sports Guy. Thank you to Robin Fambrough and to Nick Campbell for giving us their insights on the areas that they cover. Robin Fambrough covers Baton Rouge. Nick Campbell covers the River Parish. So thank you to those for coming on the show tonight. And like I said, we'll see you Tuesday with Matt Moscona. Y'all take care.
Head boys basketball coach at Bonneville High, and you're watching the Hash It Out Show. Go Bruins!
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out Show. Please like, subscribe, and comment.